righty, there we go. Wow. Here we are.
Beautiful job.
It was beautiful, wasn't
it? Mixing as always.
I got the mixing down because we need to get straight to the action tonight. We're not fooling around because it's a double feature because it's the first Monday of the month.
August 2nd,
2021. The EriDan Film Festival. Eric and Dan here to discuss some amazingly different movies for us a little bit. And we've got people waiting to come in and join us. We are going to be talking tonight about two movies tonight. And I think we should bring people in first, and then we'll get to the conversation about the movies and, you know, why they're connected and why we watch them and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, you've got
all right, let's start bringing people in.
Hello. Wow, already.
All right, live from Chippewa Township, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Their sound was still on.
They were. We could hear them. They were so anxious.
Normally, everybody's muted when those are playing. That was crazy.
Well, we could see you.
It wasn't
we didn't
playing.
watch the video. We saw you.
Oh, so who knows what people at home saw?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, let's try it again as we bring in Dave. And again, who knows what people saw? It's Dave. We didn't hear Dave.
Are you on the right mic, Dan? You sound very distant.
Do I really?
Yeah.
You do. Yeah, I think you might be having room audio. So go fix that when we bring in the responsible party for tonight's movie. Say hi to Denise.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, Denise.
Dressed in black.
Okay, I'm dressed in black, but I did not realize how appropriate it was for the theme of the first movie. It's just literally the only thing I have from high school in my closet that still fits. So, back to the Virgin Suicides.
My prediction was you're either going to be drinking whiskey or peach schnapps. I can't really figure out what.
I am drinking ginger peach iced tea.
Oh, okay. Iced tea works, yes.
Because
that's my beverage as well.
Very nice.
I think I needed peach schnapps in the house.
Okay, I got very lucky because Scarlett Johansson drinks vodka tonic. It's already what I have every night, so every show.
Which ties in well to our second movie.
Right, for the second movie, at least.
Yeah.
I'm ready for part 2.
And
So
Adam said
tonight-
audio is shit.
Denise, you chose two movies by Sofia Coppola. And we're going to be starting with The Virgin Suicides because it was her first directorial movie from 1999/2000, rated R. A beautiful, mysterious haunting, invariably fatal, just like life. Starring James Woods, Kathleen Turner, Kirsten Dunst, Josh Hartnett, and Danny DeVito. I'll mention him. We've got
Michael Pare.
Yeah, of course, Michael Pare. Sorry, Scott Glenn,
Greatest American hero.
AJ Cook, who I thought was in the Backstreet Boys, but I'm not sure about.
Hayden Christensen.
We have got it directed and written by Sofia Coppola. Budget of $6 million, a worldwide gross of $10 million. Rotten Tomato ratings: the critics 77, and the audience with an 81%. So Denise, I will ask the most important question of the night, which is why.
Sure. Well, for a long time, I have held off on making a choice, and I would like to first just say thank you to everyone that did watch it. I know this is not along the lines of what you all would typically watch, or probably even something you would enjoy. And so if you did take the plunge and you sat through not one, but two movies that I chose, I just want to acknowledge and express gratitude for trying something new and different that maybe you wouldn't otherwise.
We appreciate that. Absolutely. Expand our minds.
So I chose this because, as I mentioned on the last one, I found out I could get 10 DVDs or something like that at the library. So I actually picked this because it was a movie I'd never seen. And when I found out it was Sofia Coppola's first movie, I thought, well, that would be an interesting double feature, start with her first one and then something that maybe she's more known for, to see the progression. Although they weren't really as far apart as I thought in the time frame of her directorial life. But so that's why.
Well, I think that's. I was super excited because even Kirsten Dunst posted, that this was the only real Suicide Squad.
She right.
So I was expecting a superhero movie, and I was a little disappointed.
You're like, where's Stan
Where was
Lee?
John Cena? I was looking for John Cena.
Where's the Stan Lee cameo?
Yeah, seriously, I was waiting. Was the
Stan
DC
Lee cameo in a DC movie? That makes no sense.
So a little dark around the edges of this movie. Not a laugh riot. just a little dark. But impressive for a first directorial outing, I would say. Has anybody else? This was my first time ever watching this movie. Anybody else? Tons of experience with the Virgin Suicide.
I thought it was my first, and as I'm watching, I'm like, this seems really familiar. So I looked up when it came out, and it came out in. It says 1999, but that's actually when it was in Cannes Film Festival. It came out nationwide in, I believe, like April of 2000, and that is when I saw it in New Orleans. And I then was like, oh yeah, I was on a date, and I'm like, yeah, I remember going.
That's a great date.
Yeah. Oh my god! Like, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna
Was
go
she
home
blonde?
now. Yeah.
Awkward.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I had some weird flashbacks of dating in New Orleans, but that was totally separate from the movie. But yeah, I had seen both of these before, actually.
No, wow.
Same.
John in the comments that this was a little too real, and also that Josh Hartnett was such a thirst trap in 1999.
And Adam, of course.
Well,
Adam could cut and paste this often.
Yes. when we were watching Lost in Translation, I made the comment. Margaret made some comment about it being slow moving, and I said, "Yeah, how long will it be till Adam makes the comment of how slow the movie was?"
Both movies were a little not action packed. There was a lot of time for reflection. I did think the era of suicide. No, not the Suicide Squad. Virgin Suicides. I thought it was well done. I thought the set, the decor, the atmosphere, it all felt very real and authentic. I thought that came across really well. It was, I'll be honest with you, like I didn't hate it, but I felt like obviously built into the title of the movie. And then throughout they're talking about the fact that this happens with these 5 girls, it is a lot like 127 hours where it's like you're just waiting.
There's a big difference, though. 127 hours, unless you had your head in the sand, you knew, because it was based on a real story, that he was going to be okay. Yeah. This was the exact opposite. You knew from the beginning that they were all going to die.
Not going to be okay. And when was it going to turn?
Yeah.
And it did turn. So Denise, you've seen this movie before, obviously.
Well, I saw it last week. So
that was your first time last week.
Correct. Yeah.
So what were your thoughts? Because
So I realized that I have very different, wildly different tastes in movies. I like dramas. Even though it was, a terrible and disturbing subject matter, I thought that the film handled it with requests. There was relatively low drama around it. Like I didn't think they blew it up out of proportion. And then, the scene where it all happens, like they didn't capitalize on the gore, the horror.
Right.
That I like because those are all the things I dislike in typical films. I thought it was a really interesting coming of age film. I have not read the book. So I didn't, from the title what's going to happen. So there's no surprises there. It doesn't take a lot of twists and turns that you weren't expecting. But, one thing that's just stuck with me since I watched it, and I did watch it a second time, was that line near the beginning. Obviously, doctor, you've never been a 13-year-old girl. And I know, only a few of us on this call have been 13-year-old girls, but I feel like that's a line that everyone can relate to. Yes. As a teenager, you're going through so much angst and like all of these emotions, and you just can't see that anyone has ever experienced this, which is completely ridiculous because every adult in your life has gone through exactly what you have. maybe not exactly the same things, but has felt the same ways. And that to me was just such like a relatable element. And it's just kind of stuck with me because I haven't watched coming of age films for the first time as an adult that I can recall. And so like reflecting back on that time, I don't know, I just found it to be really interesting.
I agree with that. I think it is interesting. And I think it is well done. It is a little uncomfortable at times to watch, but I do agree with that.
It's a lot uncomfortable to watch.
I read one review that referred to it as a not coming of age film.
Oh. Well, all right. I guess it's the boys' coming of age film. Not
The boys, yes, yeah, absolutely. How about the writers? You've been really quiet, writers.
Well, Reagan didn't watch it.
Sorry, buddy.
She wasn't making it.
It was just gonna be. I do okay. Like I watched the trailer and I do understand what Denise is saying. So like in that aspect, like it was relatable for her. Like I'm not saying like, oh, how did you watch this movie? But it was just gonna be way too much stuff that I was probably gonna laugh at because it would have been way too much for me. Like I laugh at Romeo and Juliet. Like I just can't handle it. So it's like I don't know. It just was gonna be way too much for me in a couple different ways, and I was like, no.
To be honest, I'd be surprised if you would have laughed much at it because it was so well handled.
Yes,
I would have. I'm not even gonna lie. I would have. I laughed at the trailer. Like
I don't understand how anybody is saying it was well done. I thought it was a terrible movie. It was boring as all get out. Sofia Coppola tells a story like her dad does, with no words, not enough words. There's not enough to tell me what's happening. I don't know.
They're no Kubrick.
The boys' obsession with these girls, I don't get it. I mean, before they killed themselves, I'm like, what's wrong with you? I mean, that the whole neighborhood's like this over them. It just didn't seem real. That didn't seem real to me at all. And where did Trip go? He leaves her and never comes back, never saw her again, but he loved her. What? I mean, I know that happens, but
that's the stuff I would have laughed at.
Yeah, but talking as an adult, reminiscing about this, I'm like, where'd you go? You're a kid. You're in the same school. What? Well, I guess they didn't go back to school, but at the same time, it just was so. I didn't get it. I guess I just didn't get it. What'd you think, huh?
Yeah, I didn't get it either, actually. I mean, I got some of it. And then Trip, I did like his hairstyle.
So did I.
Actually, Sofia Coppola has commented how bad that wig was.
It was a pretty bad wig, but it looked authentically 70s.
Yeah.
Show him.
I thought
Trip picture in 1978. If you can see the hair.
Pretty close. Except for
if I had some hair, it would look the same.
But he was like on a camping trip, so it didn't.
I thought Trip was your very stereotypical pretty boy.
Yes.
Who, longs after the girl, and then once he gets the girl, he's not interested in the girl.
Yeah. He longed after her because,
and I think that's why it was easy for him to walk away.
Yeah.
And you think about it, it was only a number of weeks after they stopped going to school. So I mean, even though it was the last time she talked to Trip, it was only a number of weeks before they did what they did. So I mean, it wasn't that alarming. And then I thought him looking back as sort of this looking back on his glory days as an older person, I thought that was well done.
Probably got obsessed. Like, he slept with a girl, then she killed herself. Like
that would mess with your mind, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, John makes a good point in the comments here. He says, for me, it isn't really a question of why the Lisbon sisters did what they do, but why so many people look at them with confusion, mystery, and detachment in their mind.
Yeah, exactly. It just didn't make sense. I didn't understand why all 5 of them killed themselves. Why it was
Spoiler alert.
I think that's okay. The movie's 22 years old.
I've watched all but the last 10 minutes. What happens?
Oh, no.
Surprise.
I do have some freaky facts for both of them, and I think that ties in a little bit to this. I mean, Yeah, I'll wait till the freaky facts to talk a little more.
Well, do you want to do freaky facts now, or do you want to do them?
I mean, does anybody else have any other comments that they'd like to make? Dave?
It's funny because my reaction is exactly the inverse of Stacy's. The guys were the ones I understood in this film.
And
the second half of the movie made more sense to me. Or I shouldn't say made more sense. The second half of the movie resonated more with me because I've known tons of guys like that.
Okay.
Who obsess over beautiful women who are perhaps out of their reach or have some reason that, and it worked in that regard. And I thought Hartnett did a tremendous job in that role. I mean, and the selection of music at times was excellent.
Yes.
When he's walking down the hall in the school, and it's just all the women are just, the heads are turning, and when he sits behind Lux, and she turns her head to look at him, and the one frame, the twinkle in her eye,
that was hilarious.
That was very David Hasselhoff like. It was really. It reminded me, even though the story is very different, as far as a coming of age film goes, it reminded me in some ways of Stand By Me, in that it's people of near the same age. Stand By Me, the boys were a bit younger, but it was just this. The guys in this film was like the guys in there, and they were bonding over something that was unhealthy, perhaps, which was unhealthy. They say as much. They say that their fantasies about these girls overshadowed their own real lives from that point forward. Which was a very interesting. I enjoyed. I liked the film more than I expected to.
Okay.
And I really respect it as a piece of filmmaking. I think that the writing, the direction, other than a few small things, I thought the X-ray view of her panties with Trip written on them was a little. I could have done without that. There are a few little things like that I thought were over the top, and there I can certainly see Reagan would have burst into laughter. But overall, and I thought the performances, Kirsten Dunst was amazing in this. Definitely, if she hadn't already had her star-making role, this would have been a star-making role for her, I think, in some respects. So and there were some things. The one thing I didn't like about it, I'm not saying it hurt it as a film, was they made the mother too much the villain.
Yes.
I think it would have been better if that had been left more ambiguous. Mm-hmm. When Lux comes back and the father's first words were, "Are you hurt? Are you all right?" And the mother's first words were, "Where have you been? Where have you been?"
Grabbing her by the arm
is very sort of unfair, I think, to her character in some ways. And I think it would have been better if it hadn't been so clear that she was the one who was keeping them so under thumb more than the father was.
Yeah, but then that would have changed the story, though.
Mm-hmm.
It would have a bit, but I don't think it would have changed it that dramatically. I don't know. It felt a little unfair in some ways.
But at the same time, that's how girls sometimes see their mothers. To me, that was normal. Mm-hmm. That seemed normal. Now, her grabbing her, no. But where have you been? I have said that.
Yeah. Where was the movies?
my mother has said that to me. My sister, that's real. See that, and I think that is interesting about this film is that you guys can see the male point of view a little bit, but much better than I can. But I can see the mom point of view, the girl point of view. Oh no.
Not even me.
I don't even understand those girls at all.
I want to clarify too. Like that's what I laugh at. Like I laugh at stuff that's like far fetched. Like I said, Romeo and Juliet, like what they killed themselves. Like that made me laugh so hard in high school. I was like, "Are you serious? That was so dumb. You just wasted your time." Like I just could not. I can't handle stuff like that. I understand why people like it, and I don't like judge anybody on that. But that's what the stuff that I laugh at. It's not like funny moments or anything. It's like legitimate, really. Like that's what I laugh at.
There were also parts of it that not reminded me of, but were reminiscent of some aspects of Silver Linings Playbook, in that you're dealing with some level of mental illness to some degree, perhaps, and you're also dealing with a character who's using sex to replace the affection and to fill the loneliness that she's feeling in her life. And so there was some similarity there too. Although, and obviously in Silver Linings Playbook, it's an adult, not a child.
Right. But that happens with kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, so.
Absolutely.
Well, I didn't really understand the boys. I'm sitting there watching them watch Lux have sex with a guy on the roof. and they don't try to make contact with any of the sisters or her or anything. Where at the beginning, they're all sitting there watching them get out of the car, and things. I think they would have at least been over there knocking on the door to help mow the yard or something,
I think you had more confidence.
Believable,
I think you had more confidence at that age then than a lot of boys did, because it's the fear and lack of confidence that drives them to not do that.
Yeah.
Even the lines that were said, whereas the boys are saying they knew us to a T and we could not understand them at all.
Yeah.
And that's how most boys feel. I'm sure girls feel differently about it, but that's how
I don't even understand
feel.
girls. It's okay.
Yeah, I could not speak to girls at all in school. I was like,
He was. That's true.
It's not at that point, at that age.
True.
No, it's not worth it.
I was kind of the same way, but I would still be at least going over to offer to help mow the yard or something.
I'm too lazy to
Hang
do that.
around, maybe.
Weirdo.
Dan would have done it if they would have paid him. So it would have been an entrepreneurial opportunity for Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I cut grass as a job, not just hang out with
Not
girls.
for women. I did think that the older three sisters kind of got the shaft as far as storyline goes.
Oh, they did.
That it's like those became sort of a generic three, kind of all very similar. So the only personalities you've got was Lux.
It's the Hoosiers effect.
Yes, it is the Hoosier effect. Absolutely.
Yeah, Jimmy Chitwood, and it's also the kid, the manager kid. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, are you going to tell us some freaky facts?
I got some freaky facts.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, so freaky.
All right, what do you got for us?
All right. Well, should I do both, like back them into each other, or should I just do the first 5 for this one?
Do the first 5.
All right. So the Virgin Suicides, Thurston Moore of the band Sonic Youth originally gave the book to Sofia Coppola, and after reading it, she decided to make a movie out of it.
Wow.
So that's a little Sonic Youth tie in there. Alicia Silverstone was offered the original role of Mary Libson, but she turned it down. Sofia Coppola has 25 acting credits and 24 directing credits.
Wow.
So she actually has more acting than directing, yet she's known as a director. She appeared in Star Wars Episode 1. Did you know that?
I think I did.
She was a handmaiden. And of course, Hayden Christensen appeared in Star Wars Episode 2 and 3 as Anakin Skywalker. So there you go.
The only 2 albums I was able to identify amongst the rock records she was forced to destroy was Kisses Hotter Than Hell and Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
Yes.
Oh, that's a rumor. But here's the interesting part. In Star Wars Episode 3, Anakin Skywalker slaughters the Separatist leaders while Palpatine declares the formation of the new Galactic Empire. And the sequence was modeled after the famous baptism sequence in The Godfather, which Sofia Coppola was a baby in.
Whoa. Wow.
Wow.
So there's all this tying in.
Mind blown.
And this was her first feature film directorial. This is her directorial debut as a feature. She's done some shorts. And her second was Lost in Translation, which will be our next movie.
And Josh Hartnett tells the story about he turned 20 on the set. And when he did, Sofia Coppola gave him a bottle of wine with a note saying, "You're not a teen heartthrob anymore."
And wait a year till you drink this.
Yeah.
Wait, was she a handmaiden for Amidala?
Yeah.
I would assume, yeah.
Well, you know who the twin or her stand-in was, right?
Oh yeah, Keira Knightley.
Yeah, that was Keira Knightley. That's like crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was my favorite growing up. I liked her. Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom from Pirates of the Caribbean. They were like my favorite people.
Now we're off topic.
And they weren't even on Chuck.
No,
they weren't.
So I think we should give our scores.
Oh,
Yes.
Some ratings. I think you thought it's time.
The EriDan rating bot 6000. EriDan rating 6000. EriDan now activated.
All right, we will take a quick look at the previous scores. Down in the bottom of the list, we've moved a couple of movies down here to the second screen. And then up on the top part of the list, we are looking anywhere between Forrest Gump and Rat Race. So Denise, do you want to start us off since this was your?
Yeah, happily. And again, I just want to say thank you everybody for taking a chance and like trying something new. And I am not upset at all that you all hated it because I kind of expected the reviews to be worse. As I mentioned, I enjoyed this movie. I connected with, those just teen feelings that I haven't had in years. Mm-hmm. And with that, I thought it was well done, especially for our first filmmaker. And this was also 2 dual writer directors. So I was curious, if that might sway your opinion of it, but I give it an 88.
88. All right. Excellent. All right. Well, let's jump down to Dan. Do you want to go next?
Yeah. What the heck?
What the heck?
Yeah. For a first movie, obviously she's got some genetics that give her some talent because that's how the world works. I think maybe not, but I did not hate it by any means. It was weird as I'm watching it because I totally forgot ever seeing it before. And I thought I was watching for the first time. And I'm like, what a hack. This isn't another movie. And I'm like, oh, okay. It was this movie. Is it, I would give it like a C++. So I'm thinking about a 77.
77. All right. Very respectful. Dave.
Yeah. I really admire this film as a piece of filmmaking. It is not in my wheelhouse. It is not the type of movie I typically watch, but that doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. I've watched other movies that are out of my genres that I've still enjoyed. Maybe that I don't want to watch again because the subject matter or because of there's a twist that once you know it, the movie isn't as enjoyable anymore or things like that. But I still really appreciated it. And I thought it is impressive for a first directorial experience for a couple. I give it, I not quite as high as Denise, but I was giving it an 85.
85. All right. Let's hear from Wade.
Oh boy. Thanks. Yeah. I mean, it was a good film for a director making it. It wasn't poorly done or anything. Just the subject matter was kind of left me questioning, and it kind of makes a little sense that. I wonder about Sofia Coppola if she read the book and then decided she wanted to make the movie. Yeah. Who gave her $6 million to do it?
Her dad.
Well, of course, yeah. So, I guess I'd give it a 75.
75. All right, very good. All right, Stacy.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't see what she did that was so awesome. It looked grainy. I didn't think it was a very pretty film. I didn't think anything nice about it, actually. The acting was good. The acting was good. But I feel like people could have been utilized better. Kathleen Turner, wow, she was underused and used wrong. I knew it was a Coppola film. I can just say that. And I don't mean Sophia. I mean that family. You guys say talent. I say, I just do not like her dad at all. So, and it shouldn't matter, but I didn't like this film. And I have to give it like a 62.
62. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Honestly, this is it was interesting because obviously not a movie that I would normally go to. I agree with everything that everybody has to say, except for Stacey. I really did. I respect it. But it was one of those 127 hours where it's like, I know something's coming, and I know this is coming, and it's certainly it is. It's sort of like, all right, would I watch this again? And it's like, well, no. It's the subject matter is so unpleasant. I don't think I would, but I do respect what they were doing. And so I looked at it like where I gave 127 hours 72, and I thought, well, if I had to choose between the two, I would watch this one again because this was a lot better than watching somebody saw their arm off. So I gave it a 73.
And Francis Ford Coppola was a producer on the film.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have Adam giving it a 55.
I was going to guess that.
And I don't know if we have anybody else in the comments. Of course, if you're in the comments and you want to give a score, you can do that. And we will calculate that in before we reveal the final numbers for the night.
So Francis Ford Coppola obviously started in 1962 with his first movie, and his most recent movie was 2011. But what turned you off of him, Stacey? I'm just curious.
Oh, okay. The Black Stallion. The Black Stallion Returns. The Secret Garden. And the Secret Garden is what really clinched it for me because I was teaching at the time, and I had a 3-week stint at Grove City Middle School, and I needed to have lesson plans, and I had them from before for the Secret Garden. So I got his movie, and I thought, I'll just sit down and I'll watch it and I'll write questions down and we'll have a whole unit plan on this movie. Oh my God. There was no dialogue. The story was told through pictures. And then he sexualized the children a little bit that should never have happened. Just ticked me off. So I finally found the Hallmark version of The Secret Garden and used it because that's what I had used in the beginning. And that just turned me off so badly. I thought, how can you take a book and ruin it? And he did.
Well,
so
he didn't write or direct
Oprah about
any
A
of
Wrinkle
them.
in Time, you know.
Yeah, he did.
No, he was executive produced them. He didn't write or direct any of those.
He was in charge of them.
No, executive producers means you
producers
put the money up.
Yeah, but they're all the same. They all do the same thing. They don't tell a story with words. It's the Black Stallion, all of it. I just knew, I know his work. Even though it's executive produced, he has a hand in it. And I see it every time. And I watch something, I'm like, yeah, and it's Francis Ford Coppola. When as soon I can
What
always
about The Godfather?
Never saw it.
Okay.
I hate Francis Ford
Apocalypse Now.
Coppola. I've
Peggy
never seen
Sue
his
got
best films, but I hate Francis Ford Coppola.
Peggy Sue Got Married.
I saw that. That was weird.
Dracula. Jack.
Jack, I didn't see either. But I read through but I don't like him based on what I have seen. So I'm not going to go watch The Godfather and other stuff. And Peggy Sue Got Married. Weird. Nicolas Cage.
Well, let's go. Let's see.
Nicolas Cage is his nephew.
Let's go see if Sofia Coppola maybe redeemed herself with her second movie, as we'll talk about Lost in Translation, the follow-up, not the follow-up, but her follow-up movie from 2003, Everyone Wants to Be Found, starring Bill Murray and this Scarlett Johansson. I don't really know much of what she's done. Directed and by Sofia Coppola. Budget of $4 million. Worldwide gross of $118.7 million. Critics give this a 95%, while the audience is at an 85%. Was this anyone's first time seeing Lost in Translation? Oh, some of the writers. Excellent. All right. So Denise, again, a movie. I'm assuming you've seen this one before.
You know, this one I had seen. I think I saw it around the time it came out, and I remember not liking it. And so,
She said, "Let me
as you know, there's been a few movies that I've re-seen in this, time period with you guys and have felt differently about them. And so the reason I chose it was I kind of wanted to see how I felt now. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with the movie. There are moments where I am like really viscerally annoyed with the characters. There are moments that I don't understand them. And then there are moments where I completely understand, this need, feeling lonely, making a connection, a very brief connection with someone you're never going to see again, never going to talk to again, but like just feeling that there and not acting on it. But, whatever, you do you, Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. But I don't know, like this time I didn't dislike it as much as I had before, but it's not a movie that I really love.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, we're gonna bring somebody else in who might have an opinion as well. Here comes the guy called the Jelly Man, a vineyard of vixens in sight. So let's all say hello to the Jelly Man and ask for our jelly tonight. That was the long version. Sorry.
Yeah,
hello, Jelly Man.
Now, you can at least tell us about the wine, the Coppola wine.
Well, we are coming to you live from the Salish Lodge.
Oh.
And yeah, so we've got a glass of the Salish Brut going on here. And we just came from a hike up by the falls, and now we're just
And it's your birthday weekend, correct?
It is the unofficial birthday weekend, yes.
Happy birthday.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So, have you guys, we already did the Virgin Suicides. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
You have seen it? Do you have an opinion of it or a rating of it?
Oh my gosh. It was really hard to watch.
I think we can all agree with that.
I think that is a consensus.
Are you rating that by number of scotches you have to drink to watch some of these films? Or maybe you got to change your score.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Just a simple 1 to 100.
That was up there.
99 bottles of beer on the wall. Takes one down, pass it around.
That's more than fair. All right, so I think Reagan was going to say something about Lost in Translation, which is our second movie.
Me? Okay. I don't know. You said we're bringing somebody in, and I said, oh, it's going to be Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, no. A comment. Well, the writers all raised their hands. This was your first time, writers? So who wants to share their thoughts from the writer family?
Well, I guess me, since you already picked me.
I did pick you.
I thought that it was interesting because like I could connect with it in very different ways, but like the whole moral of it I could. And that's why, just to go back a tiny bit, like that's why I didn't watch Virgin Suicides, because I knew 100% I was not going to connect with it. I was not going to like it. So I was like, I just can't deal with the discomfort. That's the only reason why I didn't watch that one. But with this one, even though it was kind of weird because it was Scarlett Johansson playing somebody my age and Bill Murray, there were parts that were kind of uncomfortable, and I'm glad that nothing happened. But I completely understood that, like, they both are living the same life, even though it's different, but they're both living the same life. And like, they find somebody that gets that, you know what I mean? And I really liked it for that reason. I really liked their relationship. I liked how easily they connected. I liked how they just made things fun for each other. You know what I mean? And it was a little weird, but it wasn't like creepy. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I thought that I could connect with it in different ways, and I was able to enjoy it for that reason.
Nice. Anybody else want to share their thoughts?
I kind of like that you got to see Tokyo, and you're seeing it on TV right now too all the time, and so you saw it a little bit. Now I had lived like in Japan for almost a year back in '84, so what's that? 30 years before this was made.
Something like that.
Things have changed a little bit, and one thing I noticed is back then we figured that like 7 out of 10 cars were white when I was there. That's improved a little bit. There was more colored cars out on the streets of Tokyo.
Well, that's it.
30 years later, but it was interesting to see a lot of the Japanese stuff going on that I had been to, stuff like that, and seen. But it was kind of slow moving.
I think it's the Michael Douglas film Black Rain about Japan. Did anybody catch that one from a long time?
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, that was a good film.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Japan for 2 years in '90s. I worked on the Nagano Olympics. I was there in '97.
Nice.
Wow.
And it was one of those years where they prayed for snow because they didn't have any.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And when the whole country did it, it finally showed up. So
Yeah.
it was pretty lucky, you know.
Wow.
This turn of events, but it's super hot there now, I guess, for this Olympic. But
No snow. No need for it.
Yeah.
Well, it is the Summer Olympics.
It is summer. You got a point there, Dan.
speaking of precipitation, we're probably going to get some rain, I think, Thursday or Friday on in Washington, which is
wow. I have no idea what that is.
I know. Might have to wash the car.
I have a brown yard right now.
Oh.
I guess I'll go next. I did see this movie in the theater back in the day. I believe I saw it as one of the first movies that my wife and I went on a date to see.
Ooh.
You into date movies?
And you got married anyways.
I know. Or she got married anyway.
Glad to hear it was more successful than the Virgin Suicides for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go to take her to a very depressing movie. Really to test the waters early on.
Yeah. Well, this movie, not that I've had a few similar experiences. Not that that it was I was Bill Murray, I was 60 and she was 20. But I had met, like, I'd been on the road for like 2 weeks and, met somebody and had like one night, no one night stand or anything, just like great conversation, and walking and talking. And as Adam says, just really boring walking around talking the whole time. Where the night just seems like it's like a perfect night. And you realize that really is all it's ever going to be is a good memory. And I kind of felt like that, like he just wanted to kind of end it with, just to be able to say goodbye the right way and just kind of end it. Like, I mean, the kiss at the end wasn't even in the script.
What did he tell her? You don't know how it ended.
Well, that's what I kind of wondered why the blonde lady showed up there at the end. And I think it was to disrupt his saying goodbye to her is what actually
I think it was that. And I also thought they were going to do the trick where he sees her walking down the street and it was going to be that woman and not Scarlett Johansson.
I was thinking,
don't do that.
I expected that to happen and it didn't. And I liked that going into it the first time you saw it, you expected them to hook up and they didn't. And I liked that.
Thank God.
And still enough to make his wife at home mad. I mean, there was still enough interaction there that, his wife at home would not be thrilled with either of the relationships we found.
Yeah.
Sure. Don't disagree.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, the lounge singer exactly was, more age appropriate, but still wrong.
Right.
So, oh God, sorry.
That kind of threw me that he's going through all that and then he does a one night stand with her. It's like,
see, I saw that as like the tension between him and Scarlett Johansson, and he like met a girl and was like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's what I thought that was.
So Dan, if you want to see Lost in Translation get replicated in real life, go to 13 Coins near SeaTac.
Any night of
the week.
It's just a bunch of really old guys that are traveling.
They have a piano bar there. It's where all the hookups happen. It is absolutely hilarious to watch.
So I
went there for a business
lounge act.
I went there for a business meeting
act,
once.
Cheesy lounge piano situation, and then let the hookups begin.
It's our guilty pleasure date night. We go there to have fake and watch everybody else.
I wasn't there at night. I was there during the day for a lunch meeting because it's so close to the airport, and a company was coming in to talk to us, and so we met there. And I walked in, and I'm like, "Sorry, I didn't realize we were going to be traveling through time for our lunch because it really is like 1968, and it has not been touched since."
Wow.
I mean,
it is the coolest place.
It is
the lounge upstairs, or where it's out towards the it's just off the side. But amazing food. But man, the stories of those walls could talk.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to even clean those walls. Anywho,
Denise, you've been to Japan relatively recently, and I was curious to hear your comments about the depiction.
And that was actually something else that like I was interested to re-see it because the first time I watched it, I hadn't been. I went in 2018. So I guess part of my annoyance with them is that they're like in Tokyo, which is this like culturally exciting, very like there's so much to do, so much to see, bustling city, and they're like sitting in the hotel room moping. And so that was like my initial reactions, but then I started to, I guess, empathize a little bit with like, mentally, what are they thinking about and how are they feeling and how that affects the mood and those sorts of things. So I let that go. In terms of like seeing the city, there were certain things. I did also the DVD I rented had like the background features. So what I thought was really interesting, maybe this will pop up in the freaky facts, that many of they didn't necessarily have like the permits or things required to do all these shoots. And so they were just kind of like showing up in like kamikaze style, like, okay, let's get her walking across Shibuya Crossing, which is this insane crossing that goes like all these different directions. And everyone goes up to Starbucks to like look down and watch it happen in a very orderly fashion. And I don't know, it did bring back some good memories of the trip because I found Japan to be so beautiful and so interesting and like somewhere I would love to go back. When she rides the train into Kyoto was one of my favorite cities that we visited there. So, that was, I don't know. I thought they did a nice job, depicting once they did get out and doing things and seeing things and just watching, people live, and have fun. The things with the relationship too, between them, agreed. I didn't like what happened in the end because I wanted it to just like end. I wanted it to be, like Dan said, a good conversation. You're walking, you on a mental level, connect with someone, you have a really intriguing dialogue, and then you go your separate ways and never speak again. Like that's happened to me a million times. And I don't know, that's just maybe something that I always enjoy. But, I was trying to, I guess, appreciate a little more what both of them are going through. And like, maybe he's seeing youth through her and like what her experience is like. And he is kind of taking that, and she's seeing this, more mature life experience person. And, she's trying to figure out where she wants to be and like what she can learn from him. So with that, I know that took your Japan question and then diverted.
Nope, you did great.
That kind of took, that was how I viewed the movie this time.
I just wanted to know if you had a rip your stockings moment. Did you have a rip your stockings moment in?
No. No, I didn't.
She said, "Let go of me, let me go."
A full fantasy treatment, or whatever she called it.
Man. So Adam does have some comments. We'll share. He says the second time watching it, and he remembers why he didn't like it the first time around. He's still trying to figure out the point of the movie, and was the tagline for this movie: "Old man who is melancholy and depressed meets Black Widow."
All right, so Adam, let me just say one thing. You say "old man." The script is actually written as a late 40s guy, and I don't know how old Bill Murray was. I'm trying to think how old he would have been during this movie.
Dude, he had to be in his like late 60s, early 70s.
No, because he'd be 80 now if that was the case.
But how old is he? He's got to be mid 70s.
Bill Murray is 70 years old right now.
Really?
Movie was 18 years ago. He was 52. He was 52.
He was 17 during production.
You live hard, you look old.
So one thing I miss about Japan is the morning shows, the zany ones. And I remember
the Johnny Carson of Japan.
Oh, that guy. Oh, let's do my dance.
Yeah, and there's these two guys. I swear it's the two guys from MXC. And one of these episodes was that they were going to take two little like inflatable rafts, like seriously no bigger than they are, and float down the sewer through Tokyo. All live. Most random
Scarlett Johansson was 18.
According to the notes, she was 17 during production.
Dude, I was older than her. That's weird. Oh my god. And then Bill Murray kissed her. I would have peed myself and ran away. No way, man. I think that wasn't in the script now.
That
was not in the script.
I'd be like, you better give me an extra $3 million for that. I'm not doing this. Like, I like Bill Murray.
It's Garfield.
It's not what I signed up for.
It's Garfield.
So for the guys in the room, if you had a chance to kiss Scarlett Johansson, even though she was 17 or 18, would you if you were Bill Murray?
Yes.
No.
He probably would.
Eric would.
Yeah.
Eric's quiet.
He's like, what?
I have no comment about this one.
You say that, but that's creepy on Bill Murray's part. That is so weird. You just put him in a creepy spot, man.
It was unscripted, but they mutually did it. It was not something that he did.
And actually, here's the thing. So one of the freaky facts talks about the script, and I actually pulled up a copy of the actual script. And at the end, it does say he kisses her, but apparently it was supposed to just be a cheek kiss like they did earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
And they went in, and they both went in lips, and that was the thing. The kiss on the lips was completely between them in the moment, and they both admitted that it was real.
And there have been multiple attempts to forensically analyze the visual and audio. So there was a good guess as to what the final line was, but anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a couple lines about that, but I do have some freaky facts if we want to get to those.
Please give us. I'm not going to play the thing. Just give us.
All right, let's do the freaky facts. So, Lost in Translation, obviously, like I said, is her second movie. We just watched her first movie prior to that. She wrote the role specifically for Bill Murray, and she said, "If I can't get him, I'm not doing this movie."
Wow, cool.
And she hounded him for quite a while to get him to.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. A lot of you might have already read about this, but Bill Murray in 1999 replaced his agency with an automated voicemail box that can be reached via an 800 number. And he gives it out sparingly, and he only calls back when he's interested in the proposed project. She obtained the number through her friend and frequent Murray collaborator, Wes Anderson, and she reportedly left hundreds of messages on his mailbox before he finally called back to discuss her offer and cast him as the star. Now, the funny thing is, he agreed to do it. They had nothing in writing. She told him when to be there, and she never heard back from him. So she got the entire movie set up. They're in Tokyo, ready to film. And Wes Anderson says, "Don't worry, he'll show up." And like 2 or 3 days before he was supposed to be there, he showed up.
Wow.
But had he not shown up, I mean, think about it. He would have ruined. Yeah, her dad
Should
would
have
have
had
been.
grab some guy off the street. You know what she said? You get to kiss Scarlett Johansson at the end.
And he probably said, "Who?"
She wasn't that well known at that point.
So Bob and Charlotte, how about this one? They never introduce themselves to each other the entire movie. They never say their names. The script, which can be found online, which I'd like to bring up to show you this because it is very interesting from a screenwriting standpoint. Where did I put it? There it is. I know you can't really. I'll zoom in a little bit, but the beginning is all direction. But even when you get to the point where there's dialogue, it's just kind of like suggestions. Like she left. This was a lot like Curb Your Enthusiasm, where she let him ad lib a ton.
Yeah, because he does that.
And when you think about it, shouldn't he get a writing credit?
Yeah.
Maybe he got a cut of the profits instead.
Maybe. But it is a very heavy direction, very light on words.
Interesting.
What award did it win? Because it didn't get Best Picture, but it got some other awards.
Well, he was not. It's his only Oscar nomination.
It never didn't get anything.
That's a good question. Let's see what awards he got.
Won.
I think she won a screenwriter.
She got something. Yeah,
I thought so.
Screenplay or something.
Awards. Where's awards? Usually they have a thing that just says awards.
Yeah, usually.
Not this one.
Well,
Anyway.
her dad sold him a Delicado today, so maybe. Did you get? Oh, you guys didn't know that, but Coppola sold his winery today to another big brand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The only other two.
Arbelias, like the Tuckers and all that stuff, are at Francis Ford Coppola Winery and up in, was it Geyserville?
Oh yeah.
They sold that today.
Wow. Well, I guess he needs the money.
He needs the money to make another movie, to lose more money.
Bob was asked to channel Roger Moore when he was filming that commercial for Centauri, but he said he liked Sean Connery better. In the real world, Sean Connery actually did commercials for Centauri.
So
That's hilarious.
It is Centauri time. Okay, so she won winner for Best Writing Original Screenplay, and then was nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor in a Later Role, in a Leading Role, and Best Director. But it did win for.
Yeah, we were trying to remember because I know I saw this shortly after it came out because I remembered watching the Oscars when he was nominated, pulling for him to win and being disappointed when he didn't. I don't remember who beat him, but I remember being disappointed in that. But I know we didn't see it in theaters, so we must have rented the DVD, shortly after it came out.
Might have been a VHS.
No, I doubt it.
No, definitely DVD time.
Oh, three? Yeah, I guess they're DVD still. My mom has a good comment. She hated the movie when she saw it years ago, but watching it now wasn't as bad as she remembered. But she doesn't think she'll ever watch it again. It's a little different than Adam's review.
It's interesting that both your mom and Denise felt it
agree
improved
with
on
your
second
mom,
showing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so too. Again, it was another movie that I was like, I never saw this, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did see this.
Or that's just something that comes.
I think it's a credit to Coppola that the first movie was very tightly scripted, and this one was so wide open with so much room for improvisation that's a lot of versatility for a director and a screenwriter to do that.
True.
Yeah.
I don't think you can script Bill Murray that much, though. You know?
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
Caddyshack was
You can't
also.
even get him a job. Like, you're not going to give him a script.
If you go to IMDb and go to the quotes section, they have the translations of what the Japanese commercial director is saying to him in Japanese. And it is really detailed direction. So it's all on the translator when she goes to him, just look intense and just turn to the camera.
Intensity.
He's giving all these really detailed instructions.
Oh, yeah, he says here, Mr. Bobson, you're relaxing in your study. On the table is a bottle of Suntory whiskey. Got it? Look slowly with feeling at the camera and say it gently, as if to say you're speaking to an old friend. Just like Bogey in Casablanca. Here's looking at you, kid. Suntory time. And he goes, do you want me to look at the camera, okay? And Bob says, that's all he said? Yes, turn to the camera. Then he says, she says he's ready now. He just wants to know if he's supposed to turn to the left or turn to the right. What should I tell him? And then he says, what difference does it make? Makes no difference. We don't have time for that. Got it, Bobson? Just psych yourself up and quick. Look straight at the camera, and slowly with passion. Straight at the camera. And in your eyes, passion. Got it? And then she says, right side. And with intensity, okay?
He said, I'm directing now.
He goes, is that everything? Seemed like he said quite more than that. And
That
then he
was
says,
funny.
listen, this isn't just about whiskey, understand? Imagine you're talking to an old friend, gently. The emotions bubble up from the bottom of your heart. And don't forget, psych yourself up. And then she says, like an old friend, and into the camera.
That's awesome. That's
See,
really
that was-
awesome.
So understanding that so many of these lines were just off the cuff, I wonder if my favorite line that I cannot get out of my head, it was actually really funny to me when they're in the dance club, shall we say, and she finally comes in and meets him, and she's like, he's, where are the friends? And he's like, they're taking a dance class. Like, I could not stop laughing at that. I found that to be very funny.
I'm glad you told us that because we skipped that part.
Murray looked genuinely uncomfortable in that scene, which worked really well.
Yes.
Yeah. I also like the line.
Goodbye.
What's that?
So I couldn't handle that scene. You're just like,
Oh.
go
Fast
away.
forward. It was gone.
And they can't
Not
watch
with your mom. Not with your mom. No.
Dude, I don't watch that anyway. I'm just like, goodbye. Get off the TV. I can't handle that stuff. It's annoying.
I like when she says he's been married 25 years. She's 25 years, huh? That's impressive. And he says, well, you figure you sleep 1/3 of your life. That knocks out 8 years of marriage right there. So, you're down to like 16 and change. Just a teenager at marriage. You can drive, but there's still going to be an occasional accident.
My gosh.
Great line.
Yeah, that was a great line.
How many minutes is the movie?
It's about an hour and a half, just over.
Yeah.
Both of them were about the same length. Both were about 95 minutes.
Felt like 2 hours long.
Virgin Suicides felt like 4.
The director's cut. I must have watched.
I wanted to see this when it came out, and then we didn't. And then I had the video for a long time sitting here, a DVD that I got. We get all kinds of donations at the library, so I just brought it home. It might still be in a box over here. I don't know. I rented it from the library, and after we watched the Virgin Suicide, my boss had told me that she didn't see that one, but she saw this one, and she said, I really hated that movie. It was so boring. And I'm like, really? It had such great reviews. She says, yeah. So I was really happy that I liked it better than Virgin Suicides. It was weird. I didn't understand. Some things I just didn't understand, but because I don't live my life like that. But my least favorite part was when she took him to her friend's apartment, and I was like, I had nights like that when you're with people that you don't know and you just feel like out of place, and it's 3 a.m. and you're like, why am I here? That's how I felt he felt. And so that was besides the part we skipped through, the most uncomfortable part of the movie.
Besides the title card of Scarlett Johansson's butt.
Yeah.
200 hours long,
But that's
I think that's why.
What are you talking about?
But I like this movie better than the Virgin Suicides. I think Bill Murray really had a hand in that, and Scarlett Johansson's I like her. She was cute, and
she is charming in this movie. Yeah,
she really was. And she was 18. I had no idea. She looked really young, but I didn't know she was 18.
Yeah, I thought she was like my age. I was like,
So it was a cute movie. I liked it. And it wasn't. It's funny because I told my boss I read reviews and it said it made it's listed as the most boring movie of all time on some list. And I'm like, really? I've seen worse. But I was surprised that she had said that, and then it was seconded by a list.
Wow.
So going to the very final scene, IMDb shows, it says, for years later, no one other than Bill Murray, Scarlett Johansson, Sofia Coppola knew what Bob whispered to Charlotte in the final scene. But on October 28, 2009, a YouTube video surfaced containing a slightly enhanced audio of this part of the film with subtitles, where more than 20,000 visitors had a chance to find out what he whispered to her. And it was, I'm calling about your car warranty. No. He said, when John is ready for his next business trip, go up to that man and tell him the truth, okay?
Yeah, and there's been some changes made to what people's opinion is of it since then, but it's approximately that. It's basically her telling her husband, saying, you've got to tell him the truth about how you feel.
Yeah.
Okay. Smart. That's really sweet.
And Giovanni Ribisi and Scarlett Johansson have never been in anything else together.
Wow.
I mean, you
She
think
left them
they crossed
for
at some
real.
point.
He'll be in the
told him how she felt.
He'll be in a Marvel movie eventually.
I thought he was. I'm like, he had to have been in a Marvel movie. He was never in a Marvel movie.
Well, the interesting thing is, you already mentioned about them never introducing themselves. Another thing, unless I missed it, she never acknowledged if she knew who he was.
Right.
Yeah. Whether she knew he was a movie star or not never really came up. She asked why he was there, and he said he was getting $2 million to make a commercial. So she could certainly infer things from that, but it was never acknowledged.
Yeah.
It seems like she recognized him, though.
She invites him to go out, and they never talk about like where they're going to meet or what room.
Which I think is one of the things that charmed him about her. He
shows up in his
never
room.
asking about his. She never asked about his career, about his his movies. About
all right, how many 18-year-olds right now know who Steve Guttenberg is?
Well, I consider that a plus. But
right, but I'm just saying. I mean,
No.
But it was also interesting. They very subtly they painted him as a very frustrated actor. Because he mentioned he could have been in a play, which is sort of the only reference he made. And they also had the one scene plus the very brief scene on television that makes you think he was in bad action movies. And
what's funny is the scene they showed on television was actually from SNL.
Yes.
That was an actual clip from
Hilarious.
SNL.
Yeah.
Who knows? How many 18-year-olds know who Bill Murray is?
We should rate this because we've got
18.
other business.
Whatever.
So was the kimono that he came downstairs at the end of the movie in, was that from Saturday Night Live, I wonder?
It looked just like it.
It was John Belushi's.
Yeah, that was left over from Samurai Barber. Yeah.
It totally looked like it.
Nice.
That's fun.
All right, let's
that's not a kimono.
All right, I'm not going to play the rating thing. We're just going to do this. We'll go. We can. Jellyman, you want to start us off?
Oh, dude, the pressure.
I know, pressure. 1 to 100. Where would you put this movie?
You really have to do a 100 scale on that?
1 to 100. We'll just A, B, C, or D.
If you want to do 1 to 10, we'll multiply it by 10.
Yeah, I'll give it
Very
a
good point.
He said 42.
42.
42. All right, starting a little low. Well, I'll go next, and we'll go reverse order.
Oh, wait, I was supposed to full screen. Sorry.
You gonna do that? Oh, sorry. There you
Hold
go.
on,
Thank
there
you
I
very much.
couldn't watch it all the way through in one shot. That's how bad it was.
Really?
And I know
Wow.
Sophia.
Wow.
And I know Sophia. I went to school with her, and it was almost like a charity watch.
Wow. Wow.
That's
That's
a casual name drop yet.
that was very.
Wow.
That's so
He goes,
bad.
yeah.
That was.
Well, she got completely trashed. When she was in Godfather 3, I remember because she had left high school for 6 months to do Godfather 3, and when she came back, she was just shredded. Because the critics just tore her apart on that.
Yeah, they did.
And she's
Yeah,
so
it was-
young.
and it was terrible.
So young
Yeah.
to do that to a girl.
Yeah,
That's just
it
terrible.
was a terrible place for her dad to put her in.
Yeah.
Well, didn't someone pull out at the last minute, and so he had to he cast her to sort of save the movie? Something like that.
Well, she was
For
in
some
Peggy
reason,
Sue
he
Got
cast her.
Married,
He wasn't
too.
originally going to.
Yeah.
There's going to be Reese Witherspoon.
Wasn't it supposed to be Madonna or something? I thought, yeah.
Oh my!
I think that was,
Silverstone.
yeah.
Kirsten
I
Dunst.
swear I thought it was Madonna.
Kirsten Dunst. Yeah.
Because we Alicia Silverstone. Well, John dated her too.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry.
Ethel
You dated-
Merman was going to do that role.
You
but
dated
she
Alicia
died.
Silverstone?
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
All right, that's a bigger name drop.
This name drop is sponsored in part by America. Now under new management. Come on back to America. That's a little old now. We can.
Well, it's funny. I just watched Clueless the other day because I hadn't seen it. Because when I dated her, it was right before Clueless.
Wow.
And she was cute then. She's still cute. And she was in some movie or series recently, right?
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah, I think she made a comeback. Yeah, she was in some kind of Hallmark film or something.
She's on TikTok now too.
Yeah, she is on TikTok. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She was Batgirl, wasn't she?
She was Batgirl. That is also true.
All right, let's. So we got a 42 for this one, Eric.
All right, I'll go.
You went to high school with me. Go ahead.
You go to high school with me.
And me.
We did not date.
I said and Stacy.
Yeah, no, and Stacy, who I did not date either.
No.
Nonetheless, I will.
Oh, come on!
I really like this movie. I like this movie. I like
the story. Come on, man.
no, there's no
Bring
more
it
to the
out.
story. Sorry. I like this movie. I like relationship movies. It's awkward and it's weird. And, you know, there are times where it's like, oh, is that going to happen? But I like this movie. And I would absolutely watch this again. This was my second viewing. And I'm going to give it an 86 because I really, I enjoyed it. You know, it's not action packed, but it's like a warm bath.
It had a car chase in it.
Just let that simmer.
It had a car
You
chase.
can drown yourself in.
You can just put this on and let it simmer. And it's not.
No, it's the first 18 seconds of the movie, but we'll move on. We'll move on.
All right, moving on. Denise.
So, yep, I enjoyed it more this time. I think just, taking more time to think about, and it's kind of stayed with me, like these connections you have, how, levels of respect you can have for another human, how you can just, I guess it's intriguing to me to be able to connect with someone that you know virtually nothing about. Then again, I've never run into like a old timey film star that, is kind of on his way down and had a conversation, but plenty of just normal humans. So I gave it 72.
72. All right.
Wonderful.
I guess
I'm up. I did like it. And like I said, the thing it reminded me of is, this is going to sound really weird, but being on the road in a strange town where you don't know anybody and you're looking for anything familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've always done is I find the mall.
Yep.
And when I go to the mall, it's got merry-go-round, used to. It's got a Hot Sam or an Annie Ann's pretzels. It's it's got the Sparrows or a Star. I mean, it's the mall. It could be the Beaver Valley Mall. It could be the Kitsap Mall. It could be Beverly Center. It's a mall. Mm-hmm. And not that I'm comparing her to a mall, but I just kind of feel like he was surrounded by unknowns and he didn't really want to be there. He kind of had to be there. He would have rather, as an actor, just been in a play, which he wouldn't make $2 million doing. But he went, and she was familiar in a way because she was another American. Mm-hmm. And yes, of course, she was way younger than him. But if he's supposed to be in his late 40s, and she's supposed to be a college graduate, so she's not supposed to be 18 in the movie.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She's in her mid 20s according to the script. So they're a 20-year difference, which is still a lot, but still. So anyway, since he was supposed to be in his mid 40s, but he was actually 52 and she was actually 18, that's a 70. So that's actually what I'm going to give it.
Wow.
Logical. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's Dave then.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I have to do that. Boom. Dave.
Yeah, this is my second time seeing it, although it's been quite a while since I saw it. And I enjoyed it the first time and I enjoyed it the second time. I don't mind the pace of a movie like this if I find the characters interesting enough. Yeah. And in this case, I did. It was a weird in the sense that it was walking a fine tightrope between, was he attracted to her romantically or was he attracted to her as almost like a father figure, seeing someone struggling and wanting to help her? And it walked that very fine line, and it did it successfully, which is, I think, a very tricky thing to do. And that's sort of, it was that, because this is very close to a two-man movie. I mean, the two of them are 98% of the screen time. And that's hard to do. We talked about with 127 Hours with James Franco being on screen almost the whole time. Well, a two-person movie's tough too, and they did a tremendous job. The one theme running through both movies is just intense and deep loneliness, which is, I don't know how her other movies are, but man, that was a palpable feel in both movies. And it really was, and this movie I think connected with me a little more because, I'm no spring chicken myself. Murray's age, similar, at least rough as he was in the movie. And he's someone who's looking back on his life, not with regret, because, one of the lines I loved from this movie was when they're lying together and he's talking about marriage and he goes about having kids, your life is gone, as you know it is gone, never to return, but they learn how to walk, they learn how to talk, and you want to be with them. And they turn out to be the most delightful people you will ever meet in your life. And I just thought that was a beautiful line, and just one line of many that really worked in the movie and gave his character much more depth than it would have if he were just someone who was in an unhappy marriage and he's on the road doing a job he doesn't want to do for the money. And so he brought a lot of depth to this role and the script did as well, that I thought really was wonderful. So just shy of an A for me. I give it an 89.
Wow.
Great.
Excellent. All right. Dan's mother, not so much. Gave it a 66. All right, let's go to the writers.
Who wants to go first?
You guys
I'll go first. I like this better than the other one, and it wasn't what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be, I don't know, more, but listening to everybody and what they have to say about it, I see more in it. It toward the end, I was like, oh my gosh, can it end? But I liked the end. I liked all of that, but it was starting to drag a little bit. But I thought, him being lost in the translation with all this mumbo jumbo happening around him, and he had no idea what was happening. And Dan reading all of that in English, that was really interesting, that he just was sitting there going, huh, and feeling lost. That lost and lonely feeling because you're surrounded by people and you're just you by yourself. And I think it really played well into it, and that the title makes sense. I think it's really good like that. So I'm glad I that's what I like about this group, is you kind of learn more about what you've watched and can expand your brain power a little bit here thinking about it. But I think that I'm going to give it an 80, just because entertainment wise, it wasn't fully entertaining, but it was really, I really liked it a lot.
I think it was a series of awkward moments stitched together with lines, those aren't the movies I like. It's just too many. Like Bill Murray almost felt like he didn't feel comfortable even being on the set on some of those scenes.
I can see that.
Or like he just didn't have enough direction. He was kind of winging it, and he didn't feel comfortable winging it.
It's almost like he was given $2 million.
In the movie, he's playing an actor who's feeling uncomfortable.
Right.
Yes, he's supposed to be uncomfortable throughout.
But it wasn't a natural uncomfortable for him though. It was kind of weird. And maybe that was it. It just didn't look normal for him.
Well, Wade, what was normal for you, Wade?
just seeing Japan
again.
So that part I did like it. And actually the movie I kind of liked. So I'm going to go with an 80 on it.
You're going to go with an 80? All right, Reagan?
Okay, well, I'm going to go with what Eric said. I'm going to do an 86. Like, I probably wouldn't watch it again because it's like one that you have to like actually pay attention to. Like, I have to be ready for it. But like, and there are pieces obviously that I said that I already didn't like, that we've already talked about. But like, I don't know. I just really loved it. I love the way that they did it, I guess. I don't know. Like, yeah, I was worried that they were going to be together in some way because I felt the way that Dave said about their relationship. I was like, but that's not, like, I understand why it would be that way, but like, I don't, it's weird. And until I get what Dave said, I agree with what you said about their relationship together, how it was more, they're just connecting because their lives are kind of the same. Like they both have these marriages that they don't like, you know what I mean? It's not necessarily like the same things are happening, but they just don't like where they're at with their people that they're with. But and I like the stuff like what she was saying about being in Japan, about how like we know that they had that connection with like the relationships in their marriages and stuff. We know that they're feeling lost in those ways, but also so that we, the audience, could see how they were lost, like to have us be lost as well, to feel the way that they feel. Like, unless you know Japanese, like I felt the way Bill Murray felt the whole, like half the movie. And I really liked that they did that because I think it was for that reason.
Yeah.
But I think like I just really, because she seemed to be around my age, obviously I'm not married, like I've never even really dated anybody, but I could just connect with her like a lot, because like that's the stuff that I go through with people my age. But you're always like, is this gonna be a thing? Like, I don't know, like what's going on. That's how I feel all the time. So it's like all of those things were just really easy for me to like connect with her in those ways that didn't have to do with being married, but just everything else was just like, yeah, I could feel it, you know.
Awesome. One other interesting thing was we never really touched on Anna Faris's character in this, which was interesting because her husband, he's married to a well-educated, smart, charming woman, and he's almost get the feel he's more attracted to this vapid actress, and she plays it very well, a very uncomfortable role in some ways, very well, and a very small role.
I thought
She's
it
not
was
an actress I usually care for, but I thought she did a good job in this role.
I agree. I thought that it was funny that she had like this like super cool, like, yeah, I'm in a big movie poster, but like Scarlett Johansson like has the real movie now. Like I was like, he was looking at her, but he already had the real one. Like it was funny.
Awesome. So since we're still in Japan, I got to tell my favorite moment of Japan. My friends and I was stationed in Iwakuni, Japan, north of Hiroshima. So we were going to Hiroshima Saturday morning after we had been drinking all night and we were really sick. And watching things go by real fast on the train was not good. And the train stops about halfway, and this lady gets on the train with a bucket full of squids and sits down beside us. And, wow, that was the longest train ride I remember.
Were they living?
No. They smelled good. They didn't smell good.
Darn. I love it. That's awesome.
All right, so if we want to do something fun real quick, I'm not really sure if this is correct, but I think I found Bill Murray's 800 number.
Oh yes! What are we getting that for?
I don't know. Let's just see if they says it's a computer. It's just a computer voice. It's not his voice. Okay. Is what everything that said that I saw.
You gotta say lost in translation.
We gotta ask him to be on this show.
Oh, I thought you were gonna invite him to be on Dan's
EriDan Film Festival.
Oh no, it's dead. Yeah, it says.
If it got out there.
Technical problem. Please try your call later. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Peter Coppola's trying to call him again.
If the number actually got out there in the public, he would have.
Oh no, it was busy. I thought it actually beeped. I'm like, well, that would be funny if it says that and then it beeps.
It beeps. Yeah.
People hang up.
Never.
Oh, hi.
All right. Well, Denise, thank you for two unique, different movies. In the rankings, where we ended up.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. With Virgin Suicide at a 73 and Lost in Translation at a 71. So
wow, these are like
that's because we had Jellyman rating Lost in Translation and not Virgin Suicides.
Wade said he'd watch Howard the Duck before he watched Virgin Suicides again.
Ouch. So yeah, but getting bumped, we've got Spies Like Us got bumped to the second
and Rat Race.
And Rat Race.
The wacky comedies are getting nixed.
Yes,
it started as a comedy show, everybody.
It did start that way.
Sorry.
But now
thanks everyone, or arigato gozaimasu for watching the movies I chose.
Oh, arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Wow, how about that?
I know.
All right, it's time now to discuss what we're going to watch next week.
Are we going to lighten the mood after 127 hours? The Virgin Suicides and Lost in Translation.
I'm going to say if Why So Serious comes up, we say no.
Yeah,
you never know. There are lighter things on the Why So
there's music. There's a lot. Singing in the rain.
Action. Let's take a spin and see what we're doing. All right, we are looking at.
Just kidding.
I'm so serious. How about that?
Go back.
So let's take a look. Let's take a look at what we've got. As always, if the person who put the movie on the wheel is not with us, we will discuss about a potential another spin. But here is your chance. If you haven't added a movie or you'd like to add yet another movie or a vote for a movie that's already on the wheel, this is your chance to add a movie. We have a lot of movies on there, obviously.
Iron Man, Grease, Gaslight, October Sky, Star Trek 2, Star Trek New, Zack Snyder's Justice League. We have a lot of things on here. So
we
you
have
got
a thing.
12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys. You have any Marvel movie, any musical?
Yeah. So it just anything that is not categorically a comedy goes on this wheel. So it can be a comedy. But does anybody have something they'd like to add?
There.
Or do they want to add a vote for something that's already here?
Put Top Gun on.
Top Gun. Perfect.
Yeah. The planes aren't as cool as the ones in Avengers and stuff, but
It's still
A
pretty
good
good.
one would be to revisit is The Matrix. It's 22 years now.
Wow.
All right, let's add a
And the
Matrix.
fourth one's coming out. So yeah, The Matrix.
Yeah, they're coming out with the next
I have that
3-part, aren't they?
I saw a commercial for Dune today
Oh,
watching
God.
the Olympics. I'm like, really?
No.
They're
I will-
remaking it?
They
I'm
already
like, wow.
did.
Yep. I will happily rewatch The Matrix as long as you don't make me watch the second and third movies.
Is that you adding another vote for the Matrix or no?
No.
So Dan, what we should do is watch Hunt for Red October and have Bruce on the show.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Although Bruce has stories about every movie probably because he's worked on so many.
Yeah. I cornered him at the last Cars and Coffee, and he gave me 20 minutes about the rivalry between Alec and Connery. How they despise being on the same set at the same time.
He gave us the story because somebody asked him who your least favorite actor ever was, and without even skipping a beat, he said Alec Baldwin.
Hey, I'm there.
Oh, sorry.
But then he said that Alec Baldwin asked when he did his book for some pictures from the Hunt for Red October. He sent him an email, and Bruce was like, "Screw you, blah 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 blah." And his wife said, "Come on, you like him on SNL?" He goes, "Okay." He's only because of what you've done on SNL. I'll go ahead and give you the pictures. And then he realized that he didn't even own the rights to the pictures. Paramount Pictures owned the rights to the pictures.
Oops.
So he gave him the rights anyway. So you guys name in the thing. But yeah, I should look to see what movies he's done that we've done. Adam wants The Breakfast Club.
Added. Did that.
All right.
For Adam? Absolutely. I added another vote for Iron Man because I'm going to keep doing that.
I saw that.
Yeah, we did. That didn't slip by us.
Yeah, I know. You're so smart.
16 Candles, but that's a comedy.
I would skip that one.
I'm gonna add another one for Grease.
All right.
Boy.
Since Diana Manoff is promoting her book, I might be able to get her to pop in and say hello. Marty Maraschino. Plus, they're doing a remake. They're doing a prequel on Paramount Plus of the Pink Ladies, of how they came to be.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I caught the other
look
day
at my
was The
list here.
Right Stuff. That was a great film.
Which one?
The Right Stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great movie.
That was a horrible song by the Backstreet Boys.
Wonderful song by New Kids on the Block.
Oh, those New Kids on the Block? Okay.
Oh. Denise, do you have one, Denise?
No, I had two last week, so I'm going to recuse myself for a while.
All right.
Wait, I might have one.
Reagan's working.
But I can't decide if it's like more funny or if it's like serious. I really, really, really love A League of Their Own, but I don't know if that's like serious or if it's funny.
I think that's considered a comedy, isn't it?
That's more of a comedy than most, but I don't know.
I mean, Tom Hanks, Rosie O'Donnell.
I think it's a comedy.
That's a
Dang
comedy.
it.
What
We can add it to the comedy wheel for you, though.
It's a comedy drama.
Now I'm confused.
It's a comedy.
Dramedy, yeah.
We'll save
Which is
that
much
one
better
for
than a comma.
viewer's choice.
Do you have another one that you might want to add?
Yeah, but they're all kind of along the lines of last week's, and it's just going to be.
Yeah, I'm trying not to add anything too
That's
heavy.
us all.
Yeah, put another vote on for Marty for me.
Grease is in a musical.
That's what I'm saying. The musicals go on this wheel.
Yeah, Pitch Perfect.
That's what I'm saying.
You want to do Pitch Perfect? Put Pitch Perfect on.
Nice job, Wade.
Are we doing this? Are we doing this?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, there we go. All right, Stacy, thank you. All right, is there anybody
That's
left?
Reagan.
I don't even care about it
Reagan?
anymore.
Anybody in the comments want to add one?
She could give you the script. She could read off the whole script to you.
Yeah, we could just watch it right now. I could tell you all about it. It sounds good.
If Iron Man comes up and I'm wearing the Iron Man glasses, that's going to be really freaky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so freaky.
Only if we're wearing an arc reactor.
Especially the fact I can't see because these are not prescription Iron Man glasses.
You're gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, it says Grease." Oh, just kidding.
Mr. Magoo? What, Mr. Magoo?
I think we're ready. So for next week, August 9th, we will be watching
Barely spun.
One place on the wheel. And
Use your popcorn bucket.
how about that?
I'm
Excellent.
still waiting for the sequel to come out.
I
Yeah.
think this is Wade's first movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job, Dad.
Nice job.
My problem is I like the movie, but I'm not looking forward to the sequel because I really can't stomach Tom Cruise.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that.
In a couple of movies, he was very good in Jerry Maguire. He was good in Top Gun.
Yeah.
But most movies I see him in just don't work for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree there.
It's not about him. It's about the airplanes, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to the Val Kilmer documentary coming out, or not really documentary, but the thing that's from all his home movies that's coming to either
wow.
Netflix or Amazon Prime. I can't remember which. Val.
Well,
Looks to be really interesting.
I will say, I don't believe I've ever watched Top Gun.
I saw one time.
Really?
wow.
I've never seen
this
it
will be
either.
a first.
Wow.
They got
Have you ever seen An Officer and a Gentleman?
I've seen the end.
You know, I'm about to say the same thing, Eric. I'm not sure that I've ever seen Top Gun either.
How about
Yes,
that?
you have.
Wow.
But I have
Wow.
yes,
That's
Star
an
Wars.
awkward date, Dan.
I have seen Star Wars where Sofia Coppola was a handmaiden. So there's a little screen capture for you.
I
if
don't
you
recognize her.
again. There she is.
I mean, I might have gone to
I
the
thought she played
theater.
Jar Jar. Oh well.
I don't remember seeing the movie.
I think Dan had the
He was
poster of Goose and Tom Cruise in the volleyball scene on his door.
Maybe.
Come on, Dan.
It's possible.
It is
Man,
possible.
we'll just talk about it next week.
Well, Dan, you didn't watch it with Jeff? That was
You
his
know
favorite
what?
movie.
I know that was his favorite movie. It might have been on. I don't think I ever sat and watched. I mean, I've seen parts of it.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen pieces. Yeah.
I think like when Jeff had like sleepovers and stuff, you know, he'd have, we got to watch Top Gun. Okay. And I'm like, whatever.
Dude,
Yeah.
first 15 minutes, Kenny Loggins, man. How can he go wrong? Great.
I mean, Berlin. I mean, come on. This movie takes my breath away.
Oh.
See, you know enough.
Kelly
You've
McGillis.
gone to the danger zone, Dan. It's got to stop.
Well,
the danger
Kelly
field.
did not age well. I don't know if you've seen her lately, but Kelly McGillis.
Yeah.
She hasn't stopped by for a while. I haven't seen her.
Top Gun is 80s movie cheesiness at its apex.
I don't think it's
That's Apex.
but it's pretty.
Yeah, that was.
cheesy.
Yeah.
They had the full cooperation of the Air Force in making it, so
Yeah. I don't think
That'll be
Air Force
good.
was involved.
Then it will
was
be
considered
exciting.
virtually a recruiting film by them.
It should be a little lighter. It should be a little lighter than the past couple of weeks.
Oh, it's definitely later than the past couple of weeks.
And actually,
I need a different
when
pair
they
of
were making the
sunglasses.
movie, one of the aircraft in the movie had to get a part fixed, and in the shop that I worked in, we had to fix the part for the airplane.
Is that a name
You were
drop?
part of the movie.
Can you name drop a vehicle?
Is that a name drop? That's almost like that's
That's a car
Like,
drop.
that's
That's for
mine.
clutch.
car drop.
That's for clutch radio.
That's more painful.
Yeah.
All right, so we actually have a new segment for tonight. Oh, look at that! All the interest. Try to, we'll see how this goes.
Is
Dan
it
has no
most
idea what's
awkward
coming.
Date movie. because Dan's earlier ones made me think of a real bad one. Just kidding.
Oh, Tom Skerritt's in this movie. He's a local guy.
Yeah.
Or we get Tom Skerritt to call in.
Viper.
Oh goodness!
He's Viper, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
How about that?
I always tell Jake, I'm like, well, dude, when am I get to meet Viper?
Well, next week might be your chance.
He's
All
great
right.
at films.
We're gonna try something new. All right, Dan has no idea what's coming. And I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but we're going to try a little conversation here. And it goes something like this. The producers at EriDan Pictures have just greenlit a new production based on an old film or TV show. Before filming can begin, your team has been called in to help. It's time to recast a remake.
That looks like fun.
So here's the deal. This has been greenlit, so this is not a conversation about whether this is a good idea or not. This is already happening, but we are going to potentially discuss the recasting of the remake of the Golden Girls.
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
what?
So if we were going to remake the Golden Girls for 2021, and what inspired this for me was this graphic that I found early on this week, which is the current ages of the cast of the Golden Girls when they started filming. And in comparison, other actors who are of similar age now. I'm trying to make this a little bigger, and of course, that's not working. Let's try that. There we go. So now you do not need to choose from this list of actresses, but just to know that when the show was started, the characters of Rose and Dorothy were 63 years old, and so here's a list of some actresses that are in that age range. The role of Blanche was 51. So there's some actors who have turned 51. And Sophia, who is 62.
Isn't it great? Sophia was younger than Dorothy and she played her mom.
It's kind of blowing my mind how young all of them were.
Yes.
In the Golden Girls.
Exactly.
Which I thought that was very interesting. So I thought it would be interesting to hear if you were going to recast the Golden Girls, who should be in this.
I can't believe Rue McClanahan was that much younger than Betty White and B. Arthur.
Yep. Wow.
Good old Betty White.
Well, Still Getty was the youngest of the bunch, wasn't she?
Blanche was.
Well, who plays Stanley Spornak? I think I want that role. I've got the hairline.
You've got the role locked up with Stanley. That's absolutely
Stanley Spornak.
I mean, among the ones listed here, Jamie Lee Curtis could do the job.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
And I also think
Mullally?
Jean Smart would be excellent.
But who would you cast her? Which character?
I'd have to think about it.
Yeah.
Wait,
same.
Betty White's still alive. We gotta bring her back.
Yeah, she
Could I have a
would be Betty White.
Yeah.
See, to cast Betty White's character, it has to be someone who has a level of naivete in their makeup, and I'm trying to think who that would be.
But Betty White doesn't. So I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to jump in on the obvious. I just, Kim Cattrall has to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Could just do
I
Sarah
thought we were
Jessica
talking
Parker.
about actors here, not
Not mannequins.
Mannequin was her primary role.
I mean, you could get Sarah Jessica Parker. You could just get the Sex and the City girls.
yeah.
I mean, at this point, right? Couldn't they be the Golden Girls?
Except no, because they wouldn't work together anymore. There's too much ill feeling.
Thank you for being a friend. Huh.
I mean, Samantha Jones was pretty much a young Blanche Devereaux, so I don't know. I would love to see that.
What's funny is that Betty White on the Mary Tyler Moore Show was kind of a Blanche Devereaux. She was kind of the floozy.
She was.
And she was supposed to actually have that role on Golden Girls. And she's like, I can't do that again.
Yeah, I think that Betty White is like that in real life.
Actually, it was Ted Baxter that was the naive one.
Whoa. No. Mer.
Well, and Chuckles the Clown.
Anybody have change for 100? Yeah, this is a hard one. I mean, Eric, which role would Debbie Gibson play? She's 51. She'll be 51.
Based on the age ranges, she would be. She'd be all set to play. Lost my graphic already.
I think that Jamie Lee Curtis could actually be Dorothy. I think
she could as well.
Yeah. Debbie Gibson is Blanche. You're going to have Debbie Gibson play the role of.
No, I want Debbie Gibson to play the mom. She's got to dress and be older. Do the Estelle Getty.
That should be Melissa McCarthy. I love her so much.
Oh, I like that.
Also, I've never watched the Golden Girls, so I have no idea. But I've watched Gilmore Girls, and so I know.
We might as well get okay, so Stanley Spornak then has to be Adam Sandler since he was in Happy Gilmore.
Right.
And we get the
Not
Gilmore
Rob Schneider.
Girls, the Golden Girls. It all ties together.
It would work.
Oh my god. Hmm.
Amazing.
But she would
Lily
work as
Tomlin.
Sophia. She could work as Sophia,
She's so
definitely.
funny.
Oh, how about
What about
that?
Lily Tomlin?
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of see that.
How old is she?
I was gonna say Lily Tomlin's pretty old right now, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's true. But I mean, the mom really should be old. I mean, that was weird that they cast somebody a year younger to play her mom.
Mm-hmm.
But she was so good. I would never have guessed she was
she was
younger
so
than her.
good. But she was like 4'2".
I know. She was so cute. Oh my gosh.
With that, she always had her little handbag.
She was Kristen Chenoweth size.
Oh, Kristen Chenoweth. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, the mom. It doesn't matter how old she is, really. If they're going to make
Yes.
somebody up.
Melissa
Right.
McCarthy, yeah.
How about Leah Thompson?
Yeah, I was thinking. of her.
oh,
She'd be good in one of the roles.
Maybe Rose.
She already had to play somebody really, really old before she was really, really old. So
47 is not really, really old.
well, no, but like
That's right. Back to the Future 2, she played somebody 77. So you're right. Okay.
yeah, see?
wow.
Oh my.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And who would do the theme song? Is the other question.
Would it be the same theme song? Because I think it would be.
It'd be a new version of it. They'd have
It would
to
be,
do a new
of course,
No,
it'd be
they'd have
Smash
to
Mouth.
put like the
like they're
regular
doing with the
one,
Wonder Years.
and it would be other people.
No, I think it'd be
Pink.
Smash Mouth. Pink.
Yeah.
Pink would be good. No, probably has to be Billie Eilish. Thank you for
Please
being
no.
a friend.
I work at Journeys, and that's all
So
that I
mellow.
like is screamo music and Billie Eilish.
Thinking of Blake Shelton. Do it. Yeah.
Thank you for
Ed
being
Sheeran,
a
maybe get an Ed
friend.
Sheeran version of.
Oh, Renee Zellweger. That's
oh,
a good
I like
call.
Renee Zellweger. That's an
Oh
interesting
yeah.
idea.
Eric, are you photoshopping as we're talking?
Of course.
Okay, that's what I figured. I was
Always
hoping. I was just looking at the
photoshopping.
way your head's moving. I'm like, he's photoshopping.
You know.
I mean, I think, yeah, the theme song. I mean, who sang the actual theme song?
Not even.
Oh goodness, I'd have to look that
I'll
up.
pull that up. But I mean, that was a song before that, right?
I don't think so. But maybe it was.
What I feel like that was a Andrew Gold, 1978.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
What about Gina Davis?
That's
Ooh.
why, that's what you said. I was like, I don't know anything about Golden Girls, but I like Gina Davis.
She
Yeah.
could be Dorothy too.
She could. I'm trying to think who could be Rose. Rose to me is the hardest one to cast.
Yeah.
Cynthia Fee sang the
White.
theme song for the Golden Girls. Yeah, Andrew Gold hit number 10 on the charts. Excuse me, number 11 on the Cashbox Top 100.
And
whatever
number
the hell
one
that
in your heart.
Of course.
Moving up 5 spaces
Of course.
to number 2, number 3.
All right. Well, and then my last question is: would it be better as a movie or as another series?
No.
Would you
I
go
think
see
a
the Golden Girls movie?
No, I think
binge
I
it on
like the
Netflix?
series because
Yeah.
I don't
I was gonna say
like.
a Netflix or
Yeah, I think the series because of I like the little snippets of life and like to put it in a movie. I mean, not to harken back to Sex and the City, but did we learn anything on this?
Or Bewitched.
Oh,
That was so
The
bad.
Bewitched movie was ridiculous. I mean, the fact that they had Will Ferrell instead of Jim Carrey, Jim
Nope.
Carrey would have been the perfect Darren.
What about Land of the Lost?
Another Will Ferrell thing that was ruined.
Yep.
if you do a movie, it has to be a reunion with like the real
Starsky
people.
and Hutch. I mean,
They're all dead.
The number of movies
Betty White's not.
shows have
Well,
reboots,
other than Betty White.
they almost always stink.
Me and my friend have a bet thinking, is Betty White going to make it to 100? And if she doesn't, I get $5. And if she does, my friend gets $5.
Well, for,
Is that against
years-
Betty White?
Because I was just curious about it. She goes, she's going to live forever. And I said, and so then that's how it happened. I didn't make the bet. She made the bet. She said, you give me $5 if this happens. You're going to ruin my life. That's
Adam's
why it's a
knocking-
bet. It's not because I wanted her to.
Adam's knocking it out of the park here. Lady Gaga with the
It
theme
really
song.
is.
Oh,
Well, there were, for years, George Burns used to talk when he was on the Tonight Show. He had booked, I think it was Carnegie Hall. He had
Yeah.
booked for his 100th birthday. He was going to play Carnegie Hall, and he did live to be 100. But by the time he was 100, he was too sick to do it.
Yeah.
Aw.
I think he was 103 when he died, wasn't he?
He was 100 when he died.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah,
You just made it.
Cindy Fee is who did the theme song.
Right.
She covered it.
I mean, they're also rebooting the Wonder Years now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of radio shows
Oh,
will
the
do
kids.
the death pool, where you get you take 100 minus with the age they die, and that's how many points you get, and so you have to pick like 10 people on January 1st, 10 celebrities, and at the end of the year you see who won.
Well, there we go.
It's
So-
a Dirty Harry movie.
Already there.
Wow.
Adam makes a good point too. The Brady Bunch movies weren't horrible.
No, they
That
were
is true.
okay.
But Beverly Hillbillies, the Beverly Hillbillies movie.
Oh my! Is that
the
Jim
Adams
Varney?
Family movie wasn't bad.
Yeah,
the Get
so
Smart
fun.
movie was horrible.
I liked it.
See,
Oh,
I
wait.
like it, but I
You're
didn't
You're
watch
talking
it
about
before.
the one with Steve Carell, or the one with Don Adams,
No, not the nude bomb.
Carell.
not the nude bomb.
No, I think he's talking about the Steve.
The
Carell.
Steve Carell one. Yeah.
Oh, Steve Carell, I guess, wasn't horrible.
It
No,
wasn't
was
very
great.
good.
I was
It was like a
okay
separate
with
movie.
it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I never watched the show before that though.
I mean, Batman obviously has done better as a movie,
Yeah.
but a different type of movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, they each have their own.
that
Same with
doesn't really
Superman.
count.
But I mean, I can't see a Happy Days or a Three's Company or a Seinfeld movie.
Oh, you would go see a Seinfeld movie in a second.
I would. I just don't think it will do well
Right.
unless if it's the actual actors
Right. They
and they did a
original
2-hour
cast.
movie. Yeah, that would probably
Mhm.
do extremely well.
Absolutely.
Julie, man, I like her.
Why are we doing a movie?
Like they don't hang out in jail, huh?
They're out already. It was only a year.
That's true.
What about the
And
Scooby
shockingly,
Doo?
that was 24 years ago.
What about the Scooby Doo movies?
Ooh. Scoob? You mean Scoob? No,
Not
That
Scoob.
one was bad.
No.
it's so bad.
I like that one with Mr. Bean. I like those ones just because I watched those whenever I was a kid. But like looking at them, like I've watched the original Scooby Doo series, like the cartoon. Like I've watched that, and I don't like it based on that. But like as a kid watching that movie, like I thought that those live action ones were the best movies ever. But like they're not.
Okay, now Adam says they made a spin-off. They did make one called like Golden Hotel or
Yes.
something.
Oh my.
Oh.
My.
Wasn't Empty Nest a spinoff?
Empty
of
Nest was I thought Empty Nest was a great show.
Yeah, it was good.
Another reference to Dinah Manoff.
Yeah.
Our neighbor.
All right. Well, let's talk about what else people have been watching.
Well, I'll start. I've been watching the Golden Girls.
Okay.
Well, no wonder you were so prepared with
No,
your-
I haven't seen the movie or the show in years.
No, actually, I don't know if I've ever watched the Golden Girl.
I have been
Oh my
watching the
gosh,
sitcom
so
show.
great. I own like so many of the seasons on DVD. I love it.
That's so fun.
Oh, my friend, I'm friends with her and her fiance, and she was telling me one day, she was like, Jeremy loves the Golden Girls. And I was like, what? And she was like, the man who likes kayak fishing and hunting and shooting bears in the face loves the Golden Girls. Like he has stuff about it. He has magnets on his fridge. Like he loves
No,
it.
jeez.
That's awesome.
It was so funny.
They had a
I
market.
mean, what's not to love about
Right.
the Golden Girls? Like they're so great. The humor, it's just
Yes.
timeless. I mean,
So I know what Denise is going to be
Okay.
watching when we get
So,
off.
I'm moving into the Golden Girls house with my friend.
I when I coached basketball, we had a kid, a 6'10" kid, Calvin, who was, he wasn't joking. He was a pretty serious kid. And one day he's just like, Coach, you remind me of Stanley Spornak. And I'm like, the Golden
Yes.
Girls? He goes, yeah, it's one of my favorite shows. Like a 17-year-old
I love
kid.
that.
And I was like, okay, we're cool now. We're
I
good.
like that he just said that to you too. Like most guys
Yeah.
would be like, oh, this is
Was his name Trip Fontaine?
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. Adam says he watched the new Suicide Squad movie,
Mhm.
and it was great. I didn't think that was open and for another week or so.
Wow.
But I am very anxious to see that.
James Gunn's been on a roll.
I know. I think James Gunn could do the Virgin Suicides too. He's doing such a good job with the Suicide Squad. I will say, speaking of newer movies, we watched The Jungle Cruise.
So was it good?
It was unfortunate. It was.
I expected that.
There are worse things that could happen to you in life. Watching this movie,
like Haunted Mansion,
but not many. No, it suffers from a lot of things, in my opinion. I mean, it's not terrible. If you had never seen a movie before, you might enjoy the movie.
You've never seen a movie before?
Oh my god,
that's a great quote for the.
I don't think any of us have seen a movie actually.
If you've never seen a movie before, this will be your first.
You might enjoy this one because it's a lot of stuff you've seen before, done better, done funnier, done more interestingly. You know, it's the movie we didn't need. You know,
I don't really understand, like, what is the premise that, because on the ride, like, you're just floating by, life happening. So are they? Is it like a Gilligan's Island where it's like we're going to take you somewhere and show you? Like, what's
I mean, there is a story. There is a story. You know, and if you're going to watch it, I certainly don't want to give everything away. But bottom line is the movie starts with The Rock making a living, giving cruises through the Amazon. So he is
The Rock,
right? And you get a lot of the jokes that you get from the Jungle Cruise ride. You get those in the movie from The Rock, you know, and then there is a story that evolves, but it is, you know, everything from Tomb Raider to Tarzan to
Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Suicide Squad. I mean, it's everything. There's so many movies.
Oh god,
they're taking things from that. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I see. All right, yeah, and yeah. I mean, as I said, it's, you know, it may be better than C-SPAN, but not much. You know, it's just, you know, it's fine. It is not like a warm bath.
Is it one that, like, so there's not been like good movies on at the drive-in in a long time. I mean, my friend have been trying to go, and she might watch this one with me. She's never been to Disney though, and I have. So do you think that it's a good enough movie that you can waste your time at? Like, I know that obviously, but like, is it like fun enough for that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's just, if you let yourself go, you know, and are just like, you know what, this is gonna, you know, I had very low expectations. It didn't meet those, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like I can't sit through this, you know?
Right. Okay.
You know, I'm, you know, and not to be controversial. I like the new Jumanji movies, right? Like, I like those. I think The Rock was really funny and enjoyable in those movies. This is not as good as those.
Okay. All
right. It does not match up to that, you know? And I think they thought, oh, this is great, because we're going to get that Rock, right? That Rock performance that they had in Jumanji, and we'll put him in this, and we'll surround him by explosions and fun things happening in the wild. And this will be great. And it's like Pirates of the Caribbean, because it's a ride, and people will love it. And it is not equal to the sum of its parts.
Will Disney next be doing It's a Small World After All as a movie?
God, I hope so. That'd be so great.
Oh my God, I saw it in my head still from 1985. First time I went there.
That'd be so fun.
I would go see a Tiki Room movie.
Well, they did make a country movie, didn't they?
I would, yeah, I'd go watch, you know, yeah, it's, I wanted, you know, I just wanted it not to be bad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that. It was just like, oh.
There's some
So
cool
diplomatic.
Yeah.
I just want to see Emily Blunt punch The Rock in the face.
You get a couple of scenes of that, you know, so you get to see that. There are definitely worse things you could do with your time, but not much. Yeah, it started feeling longer than the Virgin Suicide.
Oh gosh,
if that tells you anything. Like, oh my, no. Yeah, and again, yeah. You know, but again, it's lighter hearted than some of the other movies we've watched recently.
Did you watch it at home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So not at the big theater spectacle. We almost did, and then we thought better of it.
Yeah, and Scarlett Johansson's going to sue because you didn't see it in the theater.
Well, yeah, yeah, that is a little news about the Black Widow movie.
And based on what I've read, she has a very good case.
She does have
it's a great case. And people are calling her greedy. It's like, no, we're talking about $15 million potentially.
When you have the lead counsel of Disney actually writing you saying, yes, if we don't premiere this in theaters, we're going to have to compensate you, and then they don't compensate her. Yeah, you got a pretty good case.
Yeah. You call the contract.
You know,
you have to honor them.
That's what I don't like about Disney Plus. I love Disney, obviously, but like that makes me mad that they have it released on a Disney Plus. I understand why, but because like Amazon Prime does that and all this other stuff, and they want to have new stuff to keep people on Disney Plus, but like it's annoying to me. It's like, are you like you have to pay $30? I don't know. It's just
part of it.
I
think part of it was just the pandemic and people not going out.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make sure everybody had the chance, but they should have done what A Quiet Place did and release it in the theaters exclusively.
Yes.
And I guarantee it would have made more money, would not have made the kind of money that it would have made pre-pandemic.
Right.
But if her payday was based on a percentage of ticket sales and not streaming sales,
well, it isn't even just percentage. She had bonus levels in her contract that weren't met that were based on theater receipts. So yeah.
So they should have done some sort of calculation for every $130 sale that they did. That equals X number of tickets, because how many people on average watch it for that $30?
And apparently Emma Stone is now considering suing as well.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, that's what I thought about with Drunken. Like, obviously, I love A Quiet Place, but like, you go to the movie to experience that. And yeah, A Quiet Place is a little bit of a different case, but like Disney movies are supposed to be huge. Why are you going to watch it on your TV screen? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they still release it in the theaters, but that makes me so mad.
That's why I haven't seen it yet, because I do want to see it in the theater. I don't want to watch. I mean, I could.
That actually doesn't bother me. Some of my favorite Disney movies I watched on the small screen on the Wonderful World of Disney growing up. So that doesn't really
but like
bother me. But if you have a contract, you've got to honor your contract. And if you make changes unilaterally,
it's time to pay up.
The other party in the contract, you've got to make it right. So yeah.
Although it sounds like maybe they're like, well, you know what? You're not going to be in any more Avenger movies or anything. Your character, kind of died in the Avengers. So we don't really care.
I think it's also, we're Disney. We sue other people. Who's going to sue us? We have more lawyers than God.
They'll end up paying. They'll end up paying eventually, though.
Yeah.
I think
15 years in the courts.
I think from her standpoint, it's like, why would you not? Because as Dan said, she's not going to be in any more Marvel movies, most likely. And if you feel that you are owed enormous sums of money, why not go after that?
Yeah.
It's not because the movie was bad.
No, you're not putting further potential earnings, at risk by suing them, because you weren't going to be in any of these movies anymore anyways. You're right.
I think what Disney has counted on for years is they have all the power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's going to want to get on their bad side and risk suing them and then being, unofficially blacklisted within Disney? So they've lived off of that for a good while. I mean, I love Disney too, but they are a big corporation that acts like a big corporation.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that they should, there's an old joke in Hollywood that, they give out, points. They give so many percentage points to so many people that most films have about 380% that they're giving out.
Which obviously
is that was in the producer. That's right. It's obviously impossible, but they could just give her a bigger chunk of future sales, or give her a piece of the streaming, or give her, the TV rights.
Story.
When it finally hits TV, give her all of it.
They'll settle. They'll give her something.
And the fact that they released the fact that she's already earned $20 million to be like, well, come on, you've already earned, now you have people saying she's being greedy because, come on, you made $20 million. It's like, yeah, but if I was supposed to make 50 or 80 and I only got 20.
Yeah.
It's a breach of contract, and that's really
breach of
the thing. Mm-hmm. It's the principle, and people people in the same boat who were told they'd make $50 and made 20 would do the same thing.
Well, and the thing with her is even before the pandemic hit, she was worried because she knew Disney Plus was coming. Mm-hmm. She was worried that they were going to release it on Disney Plus. So she specifically contacted them and asked them, what are you going to do? I have it in my contract. And she got communications from their lead counsel that they were not going to do that to her. So even if some other people sue, she, I think, has a better case than they do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And she's not the only one that's making, gets paid based on box office. There's a lot of other people on the film that did not have, from producers to the director, that might not have had any of the streaming revenue tied in, or it was a much smaller portion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and let's not just forget the movie theaters themselves that are still in financial holes from the pandemic, and they're not helping out any for the long-term health of theaters by basically cutting off their legs as far as the distribution model goes. HBO's doing the same thing.
That's what I meant by it, like earlier, how like yeah, you're right. Like there's some movies that you watch on TV and that's fine. Like I love watching movies in my house, but like that's why I hate Disney Plus streaming like that. I hate all things that stream like that because it just like it makes me so mad. Like I want to own a drive-in. Like I love that experience. I love that stuff, and it makes me so angry. Like whenever things are streaming, like I do not buy them because of that. Like not because I don't want to watch it, but just like it just makes me. I can't stand streaming.
Now, when last spring when this started, Jeremy Camp's movie, I Still Believe, was coming out, and we had planned to go see it in the theater, and then we couldn't. And I did purchase that streaming because who knew how long this was going to last?
Yeah.
And he deserved to have the money from that, and I went ahead and paid that because we would have paid that going to the theater. So in that instance, yes. But now the theaters are open right now. I think that they should have. I mean, streaming is great for some things, but you have to honor your contract.
If you have to pay for it somewhere else, just go to the movies. Like Tomorrow War, that was free if you had Amazon Prime. You know what I mean? I wouldn't go see it in the theater. I would have because Yvonne was in it, but that was it. Like I just don't. If you have to pay $30 to go see that, like, to buy that on your TV, but it's in theaters, like that makes me so mad at Disney. It's like I just can't. I can't.
I mean, they did well. I mean, they sold a lot on streaming of the movie, but that's the point. And she knows it. She knows how much that she's out. And if they hadn't, it would have been people in the theaters. But again, you're right. They need to honor their contract, and I'm sure they will. They will settle one way or another.
It will take years, but they will eventually settle.
Exactly.
Yeah, she'll get free coffee. I'll take it.
Yeah.
5 years annual pass.
Yes, lifetime.
The Black Widow movie, which I know you've all seen by now. No, I'm kidding. Has anybody else been watching anything else?
I've been watching the sitcom thing on CNN.
Nice.
They did like All in the Family this week.
Welcome Back, Kotter.
Well, yeah, racial shows in a way.
Welcome Back, Kotter wasn't aired in Boston because of the issues going on with school segregation at that point. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is like actually week by week. I can't just binge it all.
Well, you can if you wait.
Okay.
I don't know how many. I don't know how many are
like,
left.
a one and done. I'd be like, okay, I got 6 hours to kill. Let's just watch the history of sitcoms. But okay.
Well, they're up. They've shown 5 out of 6. There's only one more to go.
Every week.
Yeah, next Sunday you can binge them because they're at 5 out of 6.
Are they available somewhere though, or are they?
Well,
probably
if you have
CNN streaming app.
Yeah, or if you have TV, you could just hit record.
I have actual TV.
You have CNN? You have cable?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're available video on demand.
Yeah, I'm just too lazy to cancel it, which is why I don't have Hulu because it's the carrot. Like when I cancel cable, then I can purchase Hulu, but that's my carrot, and it hasn't worked for 8 years.
If you set your DVR to record it, it'll record because they play them all in a row sometimes.
Oh, I can watch them all.
Yeah, you can get them all recorded.
I mean, look,
but it's so good. I mean, it's such a amazing. I mean, you look at the stuff that Norman Lear has done, and
yeah, I keep forgetting. Every week I write it down on my list, and every week I forget until you say it again. So I'm glad you brought it up again. There is something else. Okay, not to make you raise this. I can't even find the note. You mentioned another show like a couple of times, and I can't remember what it was.
That one.
That one?
Yeah,
remember that one? Yeah.
Dan's dad?
When you get it, let me know.
Debris?
Right now, Dan's dad is called Debris. Got canceled. Dan's dad at the moment is now called Lenny's boy.
Oh.
Because it's really about Lenny's boy more than it's about Dan's dad.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Absolutely.
And tomorrow we get the detailed budget. That's going to be interesting to see how much money it's going to be. Holy crap. I'm trying to see. There was some other show that I was watching. Maybe I'm trying to think if I can remember what else it was.
Do you have any details you remember, Denise?
No.
There was a TV show that Dan watched.
Nothing. But Eric, I was curious, are you guys still watching The Man in the High Castle?
We are 5 episodes away from the end. We have been hardcore binging. It's so good. So good. So yeah, we have 5 episodes left, which is probably going to be just all day tomorrow. I get the feeling my wife is just like, no, what are we gonna watch? And it's like, no, I have to watch these other movies. And so we're very close. We watched a lot over this past weekend. So really excited to see how it all ends.
Eric, that cracks me up. I didn't think that was your type of show.
It's not, but it is. Yeah, it was very, and it does turn a little bit that way. So it is, but it's a little slower than the kind of. But I am fascinated, and so it's been really good. Expanding my mind.
Was it Bosch?
I don't know. Maybe. Well, I'll add that to my
What
list.
about
That's on
I'll
Amazon.
ask you about it for the next.
What about the
time.
John Stamos basketball show? What was that?
Big Shot.
Big
No, it
Shot.
wasn't that one?
Yeah.
Was it the Kaminsky method?
Oh, I have to finish that.
That was also on the list that I keep forgetting to watch, so I'll add that back on.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That we liked that.
It was a good one.
We were watching. I think it was a Hitchcock movie, but I'm not sure. With what's her name from Tiffany? No, with Audrey Hepburn, and we're watching it. And there's these 3 guys, and one is Richard Crenna, and then I can't think of his name.
Wait Until Dark.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. She was blind.
Yeah, that's with with Arkin.
Yes, yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's Alan Arkin.
Yeah, that's not Hitchcock.
It's not. I wasn't sure.
It's very Hitchcock-esque, but it's not Hitchcock.
Yeah, it was creepy. And
that's a good movie though.
And Alan Arkin, speaking of the Kaminsky method, I knew his voice right away, even though he had hair and glasses.
Mm-hmm. He is so creepy in that movie.
He really was. Oh, I did not like him.
He is world-class creepy. Oh, yeah. And it works.
Read that.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine comes back in a couple of weeks for its final season.
For the final season.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was that long.
What was
Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Denise, while you have your list out, I was going to give you a movie suggestion earlier, but then I just also thought about something else, and now you have a list, so it works. Based off of your movie suggestions, I feel like you would really like The Edge of 17 with Haley Steinfeld and Woody Harrelson if you haven't seen it before. It's one of my favorite ones because shut up, I just like movies. I just really like the same thing has happened to me before in my life, and she handles it completely differently than I would have, but all the feelings are the same. So I don't know. It just kind of reminds me a little bit of your choices this week, and I feel like you would think that it's good.
Thank you.
And then there was another one. I don't know why I thought to tell you about this one, but I just kind of have a feeling. But it's called Stateless, and it's on Netflix. Okay. And it's like 6 45-minute episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only watched Yvonne Strahovski's parts of it. I don't know any of the other other characters. I don't know any of that stuff, but I just kind of feel like you would like that. I don't know why.
People in the library like it.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's
my peeps, the peeps that like to go to the library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also watched on Netflix The Movies That Made Us.
Oh, I've not watched any of the That Made Us series.
Yes, that's a guy I know, Brian Volkweiss, who I've mentioned before, who's produced a bunch of comedy stuff. He directed and produced all of these. The first one's Back to the Future of the second season. And it's pretty.
He also did. They did the Christmas movies Who Made Us too. That was
and they did the Toys That Made Us. That's another. That's where they started.
Yep.
He's done a bunch of these That Made Us things. I watched that, and I also watched the Bo Burnham special.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Josh really wanted to watch it with us, so all 3 of us sat and watched it on the big TV, Dave.
Ooh.
Not on a phone or an iPad.
Oh.
The big TV out in the family room.
And do you recommend?
There's a lot of things that are funny in it. And the fact that he's alone the entire time, it's like, during the pandemic, and he just is like, I can't go out and perform anywhere. So I'm just going to do this comedy special alone in my house. But then I was like, but wait, I don't really know who he is. And I guess he was a Vine guy. He was very popular on Vine.
Yeah.
What's
but he's the one that has the Jeffrey Bezos song.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I mentioned this before because Eric played that song. Maybe I just mentioned it to you, Eric.
Yeah, you mentioned last week that you were going to watch it, that Josh wanted to watch it.
Oh,
I believe when we were getting off the air, you were like, we're going to go watch this. So
so we did watch that.
Nice.
Yeah. There's a lot of funny stuff in it, but it's also when you see the credits, you realize that there's actually a crew. You go, what? Because it sounds like he shot it, edited it, did everything himself, but then you see that there's other people in the crew.
So it's like the Blair Witch Project.
It felt like
All right, I'm going to do a plug. This is an odd thing, but so Kevin's dance teacher just posted a new video of Kevin's dance class. My 13-year-old son is in a hip hop dance class. So if you go to YouTube and punch up Element Dance, it's a brand new video featuring my son, and obviously they do some amazing choreography. If you're interested in the hip hop dance, as it were. It's called "Rip the Summer" is the song that they're dancing to, which I'm not going to play because that would get us kicked off. But she does these videos where and I think it's so cool because she gets the kids together. It's nothing they charge for. It's not part of the class. So any of the kids who want to be in the videos, or they she goes out, she gets a friend of her to film all the footage. She spends a ton of time editing it. And that's my son right there. And
cool,
breaking it down there. So
awesome, good production quality.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
They learn a routine that they're using for the recital, but then she also decides to pick a couple of songs where they'll do like a little music video for it.
Now, I mean, Kevin's got the Eric Shemer hair of the 80s. That's looking pretty good.
Yes,
there.
He does.
He loves the white hair. His goal is as white as possible because he's a big anime fan.
I thought he was a big Anderson Cooper fan.
Yeah, no, not he'd like it to be that white though, and it's very hard because his hair is a dark red naturally, and so they bleach the heck out of it. But
does he use real bleach, not like lemon juice or sun-in like we used to?
No, he uses Clorox.
We take him to a place and have it done. We do not do this at home. This is not a home kit.
Stick his head in there.
What's funny is I've watched other videos of him over the past couple of years. He's been doing this. I see major improvement with this.
Oh yes, really he's really, This year in particular he's stepped up his game.
Good.
He's only been doing it for I think 2.5, maybe 3 years now. And he's really,
the big question, Eric, is your video up anywhere?
My video? No, that's not available. My performance.
Eric has done a little performing too with some hip hop.
I did a thing. At the recital they do a parent dance. I don't think she put that up. I think I might have put it somewhere. But you'd have to scour.
I didn't mean to bring it up. Now we're gonna have to find it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably out there.
Eric can cut the rug. That's all I can say.
I do okay.
That was one of the favorite parts of my wedding. Our wedding was when I danced with Eric.
See,
Eric and I used to dance together all the time.
Absolutely.
Dances.
It wasn't hip hop though.
No, it was just swinging
He
around.
could do Running Man. He could do the Cabbage Patch.
No, I did some stuff.
I can tell by your eyes you have the legs of a dancer.
Something like that. I swear.
As I look deep into your eyes, I can see you have the legs of a dancer. Hold me while we tango.
Who said that?
Fernando Lames.
Mike Wazowski said that?
No, Fernando
Lames.
I'm sorry. It just reminds me of you doing Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal. And
Billy Crystal did Fernando Lamas, and I thought that's what he was doing.
That was what I was doing.
So it was Mike Wazowski?
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Yes, it was Billy. Yeah, same character.
What a guy.
Adam happened to stumble across the movie Sideways and didn't think he'd like it all, but it was such a good movie. I just realized that Jellyman popped off. Did he say goodbye?
Paul Giamatti's really good.
Yeah, he dropped a while.
That was all about Wine Country.
We started talking Golden Girls, and he disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Did he bail right on the?
He can't hang with us.
Yeah, I think recast. He was gone.
All right. Well, Sideways is a great movie.
Okay, well, I'm looking to see what that
I've
is.
never seen that.
Who's
I really do like Giamatti as an actor.
Paul
Good
Giamatti, yeah.
Saludos, my darlings, and
And
you
the
know
guy
who
from
you are.
Wings or something, right?
Yes.
It looks like it. On the
Come
poster.
on,
Thomas
let's
Hayden
mingle.
Church.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Also
Sandra
the
Bullock.
villain in George of the Jungle.
Wasn't he the guy from Spider-Man 3? The
No,
Sandman guy?
That's
He just looks like him. Never mind.
Here's the line. Thank you, Dave, for the link. Just looking into your eyes, darling, I can tell you have the legs of a dancer. So bring those legs and the rest of your body over here and be Nando's private prancer. Darling, I've got to tell you something, and I don't say this to everybody. You look marvelous. Absolutely marvelous.
I told you.
You know,
that
my
is such
dear,
a unique season of Saturday Night Live.
my father used to say to me, Nando, don't be a schnook. It's not how you feel. It's how you look.
My gosh.
And this is from my heart, which is deep inside my body. It's better to look good than to feel good.
There we go. There it is.
Oh, Eric.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Just check out those wild dance moves.
Are you the lady in the back in yellow?
That don't break my heart. My achy, breaky heart.
Actually, it's Bobby Brown.
Are you doing this? Are you doing the knee slide? Only you.
Well, there's a reference. There's a high
that?
school reference for you. I'm sure Adam, you know,
That was
to
pretty
go
good.
down that path. But yeah, good times. Good times. Highly recommended. If you're looking for a dance class, check out Element Dance.
It's a little far for Dan.
You know, totally worth it. Online classes. It's fantastic.
The best part of the "You Look Marvelous" song was the last verse. If a train is leaving Chicago at 11 a.m. in the morning with 5,000 pounds of bluefish, and another train is leaving Phoenix at the exact same time, and Bert Convey is still hosting Tattletales. That's how that.
How many of those references are lost?
I know.
Tattletales.
Bert Convey.
Well, he died a long time ago.
And Alan Ludden is still hosting Liars Club.
Jay
Jeez.
Leno's coming out with what's my line? No.
What's my sniglet?
What's the new Jay Leno show?
He was
You Bet Your Life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they're coming out with the You Bet Your Life, where it's kind of yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
that.
yeah.
It's kind
Yeah,
of
they're doing the You Bet Your Life. And they're looking for new contestants. And
We
it'll
do
be
enjoy To Tell the Truth with Anthony Anderson hosting. He does a good job on that. And Celebrity Family Feud is really good. I mean, depending on the quality of the celebrity, of course.
Yes, they you know, you didn't like the D'Amelio family when they were on?
Wait, is it a celebrity with their actual family, or like people that played families playing together?
Well, it depends. Sometimes, like Paul Rubens was on recently, and he just had friends on. I mean, he had Drew Carey on as one of his friends.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes the family aspect of it is a little, you know, a stretch.
And they'll sometimes have their TV family, like somebody who's on a show and the various, you know, cast members of the show.
I was watching some of the old Richard Dawson Family Feud that was celebrity, and they had like Gilligan's Island versus Batman, and it's like Adam West and Burt Ward, and then
so did
Vincent Price was on.
Eartha Kitt?
No, but Vincent Price was one of them. And I'm like, who did he play on Batman? I didn't even remember.
Yeah, he was on. Yeah,
he was one of the villains.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't
Richard
Burgess
Dawson
Meredith,
just kissing all the women on the lips. Couple of every time. Oh, come here, darling.
Everybody loved him.
He was like Bill Murray in Lost in Translation.
Right.
He's gonna pass up an opportunity.
No.
All right, next week.
Yep, Top Gun.
Top Gun. Oh my goodness, up there with the best of the best. I feel the need.
Look at that boy.
The need for speed.
Risky business.
Eggman. Egghead.
Ah, yes.
Oh, nice.
Egghead, I think was it.
Egghead, yes.
Adam wants to know our thoughts on LeVar Burton hosting Jeopardy. I think he'd be a great host for Jeopardy.
I haven't seen. He just started hosting this last week, and I haven't seen any episodes yet.
I haven't seen one yet either.
I know he really, really, really wants the long-term gig.
Yeah, because it's not quite the Reading Rainbow, but
no, but he was apparently a huge fan, and it's actually something he's aspired to for decades.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Who's that?
Lamar Burton.
That's awesome.
I could see.
I have not watched.
Yeah.
It'd be good though.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And Wednesday is Wednesday game night, right?
That's
right.
Right.
Social hour.
We'll be here Wednesday night for Wow, it is crazy. I can't even keep track.
That's the only problem with Wednesdays is it's 2 days after Monday.
It is 2 days after Monday. But if you've not, and not necessarily a 3-hour show.
No.
So feel free to join us on Wednesday. We will not ask you to commit to 3 full hours. I'm speechless by my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm thinking more Family Feud.
Yeah.
I could do Family Feud.
Yeah.
Maybe the match game.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
It'd be much better than who's on here now.
Wow. Yeah, if you get more porno sounding, Dave. Wow.
Yeah, you gotta get the wah-wah going. Yeah. Can you do a good Gene Rayburn?
Sure. I mean,
you gotta get that long microphone though.
I
You
gotta get my cheekbone implants first. Get very high cheekbones, Gene Rayburn.
And then we can have someone on as Brett Summers.
Yes.
Yes. And Charles Nelson Riley.
Oh yeah. Richard Dawson was on all the time too.
Yes.
Oh man, I think we could all.
Fanny Flagg.
Yeah.
Loretta Swit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Richard Dawson.
But the big ones, you had Brett Summers and Richard Dawson were there almost all the time. Charles Nelson Riley and Fanny Flagg were there a lot.
Yeah. And Betty White.
Betty White was on.
Yeah. She really made. How about Hollywood Squares?
Oh.
Can we watch that?
Bring that back.
Paul Lind in the middle. I'll take Paul Lind.
Wally Cox.
Yeah, Wally Cox.
We're well due for that. It's surprising they haven't brought that back.
They did bring it
They
back
did.
like 10 years or so ago. I don't think it did anything, but because
Yeah.
They had
All the
Elmo.
other shows they've brought back with them bringing back all these shows.
yeah,
I want the Gong Show to come back again. I would like season 2 of the Gong Show to come back
with
my
Mike
God.
Myers.
Mike Myers. I love that. That's fantastic.
Wait, like Shrek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the original Gong Show. We used to watch that every day.
it was so dumb and so fun.
It was so awesome. I was little.
The unknown comic,
Oh my god. Who was
Murray Langston.
Murray Langston. Yep, and Gene the Dancing Machine.
Bow, bow. Wait, I forgot how that song went. I almost did the Match Game theme.
Yeah, it's about
What was the host's name?
Chuck Berry.
Chuck
Barrett.
Barrett. That's right.
Chuck Berry.
He used to foam
And
at
you
the
had-
mouth. He'd be so excited to
Ew.
spit everywhere.
Yeah,
No.
J.P. Morgan, who was always on the panel.
She
No
was
relation to
amazing.
JP Morgan Chase.
No relation whatsoever.
Yep.
awesome.
Oh, so much bad talent.
Yeah, it was great. I wonder if
Yeah,
anybody got
we'll be
famous.
back
to
here
win
Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll play that on Wednesday. We'll play that.
There we go. We'll have some bad talent here on Wednesday. So bring your favorite trick that you can now get. All right. Everybody have I guess we'll see you in 2 days. Have a wonderful evening and have a great Tuesday.
Good night.
Good night. Bye. Thank you, Denise. Great job. Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye.